Recording.
Break.
And
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for another episode of the Four Shots Podcast. My name is Evan Rafferty. Along with me, as always, is Jay Clancy and Patrick Whistler. Today we have a very special guest, Kyle Kiemle, and this is the 1,
2, 3,
Four Shots Podcast. Today we are shooting Blackberry Brandy again.
Everybody's favorite.
Prost. Oh my God,
It's not that bad, dude.
Way
it's
worse.
not even close to
Way
being
worse than I remember. Way worse.
Okay, I'm all right.
Tastes extra medicine-y today.
How's everybody doing today?
Good.
fine.
Yeah.
Anybody as hungover as I am right now?
All these
think we're all
liars feel
close.
like shit.
Yeah.
Inexplicably hungover today.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the day after the Super Bowl, so that explains why we are looking a little weathered today, a little hurting. What'd you guys do for the game?
Oh,
I had Thanksgiving dinner with my parents.
Thanksgiving
girlfriend.
dinner.
Yeah, it was awesome. We had a turkey stuffing and all that stuff. Just totally bucking tradition
Nice. I love it. Little turkey and stuffing on it for no reason.
for no fucking reason other than it's delicious.
Yeah. What'd you do for the game?
I made chili and onion dip. Had some people over,
Nice. What were you drinking?
Just a bunch of like cheap European tall boys I bought in Wisconsin.
nice.
European.
This is the
tall
way.
boys. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, no, we had our staff party last night and closed the bar down for it, and we watched the game in the party room and stuff like that on the big screen.
Nice.
And we got at it. I am paying for it today. But anybody win any money on the games?
$200.
Nice.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. I won a little bit. I'm probably down like overall though. But we had a dishwasher hit the big square for the final. And the kid made like 16 grand on it or something
He's
like
gonna
that.
fucking retire after that.
That's what I was like, I don't know if we have a dishwasher next week.
Dishwasher
Yeah, right.
retirement money right there.
Yeah. But Kyle, thanks for coming on with us today.
No problem.
If you will, just go ahead and give us a little run through of like what was your first job in the restaurant industry or service industry, and what you've done, where you've been, and everything like that.
Well, I started, if it counts, I guess, Subway way back in the day.
All it counts.
Yeah, I was a fucking sandwich artist, bud.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Then I made my way to Rugen's in Antioch. I applied to be a bartender / server, and they're like, "Nah, man. We already filled that position, but right now the cook in the back is hammered off of his ass if you want to try his job."
That's how you get.
So I just figured, why the hell not? And then I worked there for 4 years, just kind of ran with it and became a back of house guy for 10 years. And then I did some bartending. I've done cooking here, there, and everywhere. But and now I'm selling fucking Toyotas.
Oh, nice.
Which, the service industry definitely prepared me for, was fucking selling cars.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does help you out with a lot of different areas of work and stuff like that. Just because you got to be able to, deal with people, work
People
with
skills,
everybody.
right?
Yeah. You kind of expect the unexpected and know how to handle chaos and everything like that.
Oh, yeah. There's chaos aplenty.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. All right. I am really feeling rough here.
Yeah.
Should drink more.
I think that is exactly what I need to do, is just get a little bit more of the haired dog in me. But yeah, like I said, it's the day after the Super Bowl now. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Oh, someone's jaded.
Oh.
Someone's jaded.
It's my 4-year anniversary.
Is it really?
Valentine's Day's your
Yeah.
anniversary?
Congrats.
Oh, fuck, dude. Well, at least you get to, kill two birds with one
Double
stone.
dip it.
Yeah, right.
Double dipping. Yep.
Yeah. My dumb ass. I planned like a while back. I bought tickets for like a cocktail and food pairing for tonight that I don't know if I'm going to make it to, honestly.
You can do it. You can do it.
You can do it, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they say the good ones always play hurt. So
Yeah,
That's
true.
here I
Patty
am.
Mahomes last night.
Yeah.
Where's it at?
O'Toole's, Libertyville.
Libertyville.
Scotty, the bartender over there, it's like his 101 program. He basically makes like 4 cocktails, shows you how to make them at home basically, and then they like pair it with like 4 little like small bites. So
Oh, that's cool.
looking forward to that.
Just drink through the pain.
Yeah. And that is actually why we are here on a lovely afternoon in Grays Lake. think I forgot to mention that we are at Charlie's Tavern as usual in downtown Grays Lake. Doing a little day drinking, and that is like kind of our first topic is day drinking. Love it or hate it?
Oh, everybody loves it,
It's
right?
the only way. It's
Yeah.
the best way.
Most of my drinking is day drinking now.
Yeah.
Because I don't really drink weeknights anymore, so I roll into Mickey Finn's at 11:30, 12 on Sunday,
Yeah.
and then I
Make a
roll
day of
out
it.
at 9 p.m.
There you go. There you go.
And you can't drink all day if you don't start in the
Early,
morning.
Yeah, right.
It's true.
I hate day drinking, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I just feel like you're going to be like hammered by like 5 o'clock, and then like you take that nap or go to bed or whatever, and then you wake up at midnight just
Yeah, or like 2 in the
hungover.
morning, and you're just
Yeah.
like, oh, fuck.
Or you'd go the other way, like you were saying, and you go from 10 in the morning till 2 in the morning, and
Then you feel like this, like we all feel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't normally take shots. See,
Yeah.
that's part of the thing is like I drink with other people, and then part of their routine is like taking shots frequently.
And then they cut their night in half, right?
Yeah,
they
I don't
can't
do that when I
Yeah.
drink for 9 hours.
It's a marathon, right?
Yesterday for the Super Bowl,
I'm feeling very
strictly
judged right
no
now.
whiskey. I normally always start out with a whiskey. Last night I was like, no.
So you'll like sip a whiskey, but you just no straight shots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have like a tall pour of bourbon, 1 or 2.
But it'll
before
last
I
you an
start
hour.
drinking.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, you have
Or
to have
5,
some
but
sort of
Do shots.
a game
Yeah.
plan. If you're gonna
Yeah.
day drink, like you
Yeah.
have to like have some sort of
Yeah,
structure.
there's a difference.
You have to
between-
know like when you're gonna eat. You got to mix in a ton of water, especially during the summer, because
Yeah.
you're gonna dehydrate
Yeah.
fucking right away. Like especially I don't know if you're like tailgating at a Cubs game or a Sox game.
You can't really tailgate at a Cubs game, man. I know you said
Food.
that on purpose. Yeah.
Food's really important. I
Food's
usually have
of the
breakfast
utmost,
and
yeah.
dinner at Finn's on
There
Sunday.
you go. There you go.
I think that's where I always go wrong. Is like once I start drinking, I don't really like to eat, and so
Yeah,
then,
me too. So that'll fuck you over because
You got to mix in
gotta.
some snacks. You got to
Where do you get
establish
the
a base.
superpower?
Oh, it's
I've,
called
like-
it's called just being a heavy drinker and being a beer drinker
No,
and being like,
I've-
I don't got room for that.
No,
you know what I do have room for though?
Man, 3
Oh,
beers and I'm the hungriest
sustenance
guy
to
in the
nourish
world.
me or
Yeah, the
alcohol to
drunchies.
fuel my
It's
stupidity.
an acquired power, right?
Yeah. I wasn't born this way. It took some practice. But yeah, skipping out on food will fuck you over. That makes the worst hangover, especially with day drinking. If you don't eat, it's
Yeah.
the worst.
That was my mistake yesterday. I
Yeah.
didn't eat anything. at
Yeah,
all.
my worst hangovers all involve. Even if I eat a lot, if I drink significantly before I ate, it's
or
fucked
wine.
the whole day.
Wine will give you the worst hangover.
For me, it's a combination of hard liquor and not eating properly.
Yeah.
That is the recipe for a fucking terrible hangover.
All my worst hangovers involve cocaine.
Yeah, that's true
Well,
too.
that
Because then
goes
you're
with
like,
not
I can
eating.
drink 30 beers.
Yeah, right. And tell the same
Yeah.
story 8 times to the same 3 dudes and somebody we just met tonight's garage.
Yeah. Oh,
And
man.
don't forget the business ventures.
Yeah.
I think that's your superpower, like for drinking, is just adding some drugs and keep
Yep.
going.
You know?
Some nice Spanish reds and Colombian whites.
Yeah.
Very true. Yeah, I don't know. It's one thing, like you said, like if you're at Wrigley or something, or down on the south side, and you're at a baseball game, but like I feel like I can go like harder there, like during the day, but like if you're just at the beach or something, and like the sun, something with like the sun just baking it out of you and everything.
Oh, it just sucks all of it out of you.
And I
man.
feel like if you're moving around and day drinking, it doesn't hit you nearly as hard as if you're sitting. Like once you sit down me at least, once I sit down at a Cubs game, I start drinking significantly less. Otherwise, it's terrible. Because first of all, you got to get up and piss every half inning,
True
right?
story.
And
Yeah.
that's what's the point of buying tickets. But if you're moving around doing something, like I go to Fall Fest in Door County a lot, and that's just a weekend of just drinking and eating cheeseburgers outside, and it's fucking awesome. Especially, I mean, for me, and it's not for everybody.
You
but-
like cheeseburgers?
Yeah, believe it or not. Yeah. Not a lot of kale salads go into this well-greased machine. But moving around doing stuff is like that's the key. That's a huge part of it too. I feel like.
Yeah. I don't know. I just always feel like bad decisions get made at like 4 o'clock when you're drunk.
Oh yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
yeah.
I
That's
mean,
what you
yeah,
sign
I
up
mean,
for, though.
AM,
Yeah.
PM, yeah, that's true.
It's the adventure. And also, sometimes you just need it. You just need a whole day of drinking.
And
without-
sometimes the hangover's worth it. You have an
Yeah,
awesome
it's
day
true.
and you can remember
Yeah.
most of it. The hangover's worth it. If you don't remember
Yeah.
a lot of it, That's a worthless hangover then. That sucks.
You know what? I'm with Pat on that. Sometimes I just need a drinking fucking day, man. Just to let loose, dude. It's
Decompress,
just like,
dude, yeah.
it totally.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes it's every Sunday and Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah. The service industry weekend.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, that's all you get.
Only the B team has to work on Sundays and Mondays.
Oh, that happened.
I don't have to work on Mondays. We're closed.
Yeah. I'm sad.
I don't have to work
You're
Mondays
closed
either.
on
So.
Monday.
Yeah, that was one of the funniest things
every
I've ever.
Sunday, man. I remember that shit.
One of us would always show up with a 12-pack of beer just
Yeah.
to get through the shift.
Yeah.
And I only would have to work 3 hours on Sundays. And I
We
would
never
show up
we
with
never
the
got
goose.
concurrent Sundays off. It felt like I would always work
Mm-hmm.
them, or for a while I was getting one a month off, and then he had to work. So yeah, you just
Yeah,
day
Vol-
drink and ruin everything.
I volunteered for that shit like an idiot.
I mean I used to do that bartend Sundays for football. I mean you made a ton of money, but it was always a long, long day.
Yeah.
Fucking worst.
Missing football's rough, man.
Fucking sucks.
Yeah,
Well, I'm a Bears fan, so I would have missed football this year either way. Not a lot was played by the team that I root for. So
no, they had
they had
It's
a
the
couple,
most exciting
a lot
year
of
of my
positive
life.
losses.
It was developed.
A lot of
Basically.
positive losses. I'm just being dramatic.
It's like a 5-week stretch, right?
I think
had
they call
some
those
good-
moral
yeah.
victories.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
It was actually weird because normally, like, if the Bears are irrelevant by like week 5 or 6, then like our business on Sundays basically gets cut in half.
Yeah.
But that never really happened.
Everybody
this
wanted
year.
to see Justin
Yeah,
Fields.
like-
Every time he took a snap, you didn't know what he was going to do.
and so like it was good for us. Like like lose so you get a better draft pick, but like at least he was.
You're still
exciting.
watching like
yeah.
It's
an
very exciting to have a
fun
quarterback that is an athlete.
Yeah. Right. Right.
He gets the ball and it does something.
Right.
Like that's another one too. Like my roommate's got really good Bears tickets, and so I'll go to like 3 or 4 home games with them.
Nice.
And his cousin does this crazy tailgate for the games down. It's like, was it like 18th and State or something like that, like down by Reggie's. And there's like 12 food trucks. Like they had like
Nice.
they have DJs and stuff like that. It's fucking crazy. The first time I went there, I literally thought it was like a tailgate with like a Jeep and a grill. And we get down there, and I just like, it was like walking into a rave at 9 a.m. I was like, what the fuck is this? You know, like, and that's the one where I do most of my day drinking is when I go down doing that, because we'll be ripping shots of tequila at like 9:30 in the morning.
Oh, yeah,
And
that's a day right there. You're setting yourself up for success with 9 o'clock in the morning tequila.
oh
shots.
man, it's fucking rough. But you know, you'd rather get them there. It's like $20 all you can eat, all you can drink, and then instead of paying $20 a beer at the stadium.
Fuck it, dude. Buy the ticket, take the ride, man. That's fucking fun. It's gonna hurt later, but it's fun. Right?
Yeah, those are the ones like the car ride home where I'm just fucking passed out.
Yeah. Right.
Got to tell the conductor.
Yeah.
You're taking the train home.
Yeah.
You're like, wake me up in Lake Bluff, please.
Yeah.
I had to go pick my college roommate up in, the scary North Chicago station right next to the giant Abbott factory.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I used to work right by there. Yeah.
I had to drive there like
I
1:30
legit
in the
worked at
morning
that
to
North
get 'em.
Chicago place for 10 years, actually.
You
I
worked
was
at,
like,
where in
dude.
North Chicago did you work?
Abbott. I worked
Oh, you
there.
worked there?
Yep, 10 years in North Chicago.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
My friend's dad was the fire chief there, and I was like, that seems like a weird job, but I guess they're fucking with chemicals and shit, and it's a huge area, so
Oh, dude, I could talk for hours about all the shit they had to go through because of all the chemicals and all
Yeah,
the bullshit. Man.
right.
It was a lot.
Yeah, I Googled this shit, and apparently because I live right next to the other Abbott,
You have cancer now, or
Yeah,
what?
like I have like a 10 times more likely to get cancer.
oh, that's fun.
Score.
Yeah.
So day drinking.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
That's
You know,
what we
it's
call
funny.
a
Nothing
tangent.
worse than day drinking on a Sunday and then going to work on a Monday and the smell of formaldehyde in the air. It's
Oh
yeah.
God.
Yeah,
That doesn't
it's
sound like
stinky.
fun.
I heard that they have the world's largest fermenting vessel at
Really?
the Abbott in North Chicago. They like make antibiotics in it or something.
Oh, okay. I was like, what the fuck are they fermenting?
It's like bigger than any like beer making vat in the world.
One
It's gotta
big
be
batch
fucking
of
huge
sauerkraut.
then, yeah, right.
So, not to like go back and forth here, but I do have something I want to talk about also with the Super Bowl. Like a couple weeks ago, I'm watching like the first round of playoffs with my buddy, and he's got a newborn kid, so he hasn't really been watching football, any TV at all. and he looks at me and he's like, "Holy shit, there's a girl referee like in football." I was like, "Yeah, like
A couple years in now,
we've been
right?
doing it for a while now. Like they had a girl do the Super Bowl the last couple of years." And he's just like, "Holy shit, like I can't believe it. Like good for them. Like what, like just didn't expect it." So then we started thinking, and I'm like, I wonder like if like players and coaches are less likely to scream at a girl referee than a guy referee. And like, just because, there is that gender thing. So maybe
It's a
they
good
don't.
way to get canceled.
Yeah.
Right.
So then I'm thinking, who would be the best player or coach that you would want to see like screaming at a lady referee? Like in my head,
Who would be the best at it?
yeah, or who would be the most entertaining to watch? Or the craziest one to watch? Like in my head, I'm thinking like Lou Piniella.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
I was thinking
Imagine
like
her standing there and he just picks the bass
Yeah.
up.
And he's like kicking dirt and spitting and it's going everywhere.
I was thinking
and
like Bill
that.
Romanowski.
Oh, Jesus.
That would be fucking terrifying.
Oh man.
Dennis Rodman, right?
Oh yeah, dude.
Joel Quenville grabbing his crotch at her.
Yeah. Oh shit.
And Q.
Oh man.
You guys ever see like the video memes of the NBA players hitting on the female refs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
have
god,
not.
they're so great. They're gold.
Luca.
I'll have to look that up. That
Yeah.
sounds hilarious.
Gorgeous. Yeah. It's wonderful.
Which I mean, that's kind of crazy. Like I don't know if you should be doing that in the middle of a game. It's like,
Probably not
Yeah.
the best idea.
yeah.
But I mean, you got to schmooze any way you can. Everybody works the refs one way or another. You
Yeah,
know,
that's true.
like if you gotta, lay on some game on one of the refs, you do what you gotta
Just
do
to get
man.
a foul call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't see that fall when I fall for you. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That is a good line.
stop
It is a good
it.
line.
Yeah.
Probably a little inappropriate, but
Yeah.
I wonder if like after that, because that video kind of went viral, and like I wonder if they had to call him into the office and be like, hey, like
So don't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's a bad look.
Yeah.
I don't know.
definitely dealing with like image problems already with NBA and stuff. They don't want
Right.
to get Me Too'd all of a sudden.
Right.
Although I guess they did. Wasn't that like Isaiah Thomas or whatever when he was working with the Knicks? He got in a lot of trouble for that shit. But Kyle, yeah, you said
Nah, it's the Knicks.
you were talking about the first place you up in McHenry that you got a job. Is that where it was, or is it Antioch?
Oh, Antioch. Yeah, it was a place called Rugen's, which is now like Taylor's on Toft or something like that. Yeah.
What kind of like place was it?
It was like a martini bar and small plates. There was like 110 different beers in the cooler. It was like craft beers. Really small kitchen.
And that was the place where the guy working the kitchen at the time was here.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw the now hiring. I was a regular there, and I was just trying to get into like an actual like real restaurant bar business.
Trying to further your sandwich
Yeah,
artistry.
yes. I was tired of making
I
sandwiches
get it,
for $8 an hour or whatever it was
Yeah.
back in 2011 or whatever it was. And I talked to the bar manager Corey. I was like, "Come on, man, you don't got anything for me?" He's like, "Dude, cooking the back is like absolutely hammered right now. Like, do you think you could take his job?" I was like, "Well, I know how to cook some things and stuff. Like, I know my way around the grill." And then he shows me the kitchen, and there's like an oven, a panini press, and a George Foreman grill in there.
that was
And
it.
that was it. So I was like, "Well, I could probably make this work then, I guess."
Yeah.
And as we went along, like I got more into it because I don't know. You just when you have an opportunity in front of you, you should go for it.
Yeah.
If you feel like you can.
Was this just a one man kitchen? Like that was it? or-
Essentially, yeah. Like there was a lot of weekends that I can recall, like working by myself, doing my own dishes, plating everything, and even running some food
Oh,
by
Jesus Christ!
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, making like $10 an hour is fucking cool.
Oh.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. Then you like how long did you say you cooked for?
I was there for 4 years. Overall, probably like 10. The last spot I was at was like the Lamp Brewery. Then, it's fun. I was the kitchen manager a little bit. I worked the
Nice.
line at Epic Deli. That's in McHenry. Just-
How was it working? Like that place is awesome. I love that
it's awesome if you're like a tourist and stuff going through there, but working there was a fucking nightmare.
place. Yeah.
It was just one of those places that like there was so much, I don't know, I guess so much of a hierarchy there Like there was like 20 different floor managers that like interfered in the kitchen manager's business and stuff like that. Like I had like managers from like the cheese department coming over and telling me how to do my job and how I should be running the kitchen and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like, no. It's like how much experience do you have as a cook in the kitchen? Do you know what it's like to work back here? Well, we make the cheese samples for the people out front. It's like
I couldn't like imagine somebody walking and being like, "Can I get some brie and a shot of JMO, please?" or some shit like that.
Sunday mornings, like especially during football season, one of the bartenders would have like 30 Bloody Marys already made before even open, because people like as soon as like 10:30 hit, when they opened the doors, it was packed.
Yeah,
like it was wild. Like and it's such like such a Wisconsin dive environment in the bar there. Like it had its regulars. Like I just can't imagine being a regular there. Like, hey, honey, you want to go over the today?
going to
And
the castle for dinner.
It's whatever's most convenient.
Yeah.
It's off the
brats have to
highway.
overflow too,
Like, nothing about that place seems convenient, but I don't know. Just I disliked most of the managers there. Ownership just had their own head up their own asses the whole time. But I mean, like that's every restaurant pretty much ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That'll happen.
we all know, we've all been there, but it's just everything there was bass backwards.
Yeah. And then you said you're selling cars now. How long have you been out of the industry for?
Since March 15th of last year.
Okay.
So we're coming up on a year. It's kind of weird not getting yelled at for sitting down. like that's one of the biggest culture shock things for me. And just like I can make like 2 weeks pay in the business like in one day.
Yeah.
Like just if I sell the right 2 cars, like and I have health insurance, which is the craziest thing for me too, is like having health. I haven't had health insurance in like 15 years.
Yeah. when you get that offer, you're just kind of like, this is a thing? Like normal people get this?
Yeah. But I still feel like it's a scam.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you think you're like done with the industry for good, or are you out?
For now, I'm out.
Yeah.
It's cushy. Like I hate to say it. Like someday, if the right circumstance presents itself for me, yeah, I might go and I might step back in the kitchen or something like that. Like if I got offered to run a kitchen and the owner was just like, you just do you,
Right.
sure, yeah, why not? But I don't know, it'd have to be like the right place with the whole right vision and stuff going on. Like it'd have to be smaller. Like I don't want to feed like 500 people a night.
Right.
Yeah. Like nobody actually wants to do that.
Yeah.
Like it'd have to be a small place, small menu, like I don't know, just burgers, barbecue, bourbon, and beer. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to do something simple. I don't want to do anything fun and flashy anymore. Like that time's past. That ship sailed.
Dude, that sounds like a good restaurant name, not to be
Yeah,
honest.
right?
man.
Like Quad B or something like that. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
The 4 best bees.
I know, like you were saying with the pay, like, cause I was in the kitchen for a long time. And I remember just even like hearing what some waiters would make sometimes. I'm like, holy like you just made my entire paycheck in a night.
Yeah,
like,
how about you fucking tip me out tonight, bud?
So,
Well, nothing's worse too, because like you work in a place where the kitchen doesn't get tipped out, which is most places, and like even the door guy's making $150, and you don't get shit for being fucking 10 times busier than you normally are. You're like slammed homecoming weekend. You're working your ass off, sweating your ass off, and it's still $8 an hour. There's no incentive to be busy.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
It-
you can just fucking stand there on a slow night and make the same thing.
Well, I feel like I've never worked back a house, but I've always felt like a little bit of guilt. Like if they'll go out drinking with me afterwards, I'm buying your drinks because fuck, you worked harder than me, and I don't want to tell you. You know?
Yeah.
It's fucking hot back there, man.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know. You can tell a lot about people too. Like if they're a server or something, and they're always like bitching at the kitchen or something like that. I'm just like, go try doing it.
Yeah, that shit doesn't fly.
Go
man.
try doing it.
Yeah.
Like it's weird too. Like the mindset between like when you're in the kitchen, you're like, oh my god, I hope we're not busy today. And then like if you're like serving or bartending, you're always like, please, like let's be busy, you know. Like
I just wanted it to be like reasonably busy, like manageably busy.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like 86ing 3 different things, and then like somebody's thumb gets sliced off, and then the dishwasher doesn't show up. Like people don't realize like how much chaos there is back then.
oh yeah, insane.
Like another thing about when I was working up in Wisconsin at Mars, every time the phone rang in the kitchen, it was somebody calling off.
yeah,
So like you're, like, I don't know what other
Don't
business
answer.
there is.
Yeah.
Might be out there where like you have that kind of like high turnover rate in a kitchen,
Right,
And
yeah.
like that many people calling in, like just the restaurant business is just a whole bunch of people going, fuck it.
Yeah, I mean,
like one way or another.
I know, like before the pandemic, they said like turnover in like kitchens was almost 100%. You know, like you it was probably like 90. Like if you had 10 guys working there, you know, maybe 2 of them would still be there in a year. You know,
And then holding on to the skill guys too.
Yeah.
The guys that are like actually in it because they like have the fire and the passion.
right?
You know, like it's uncommon. And then like to have like 10 years of experience of doing this, and then you only make like $18 an hour.
Yeah,
Like how many other industries does that happen in?
yeah.
Where like you have that much experience and they're just like, you're worth 18 an hour.
Mhm.
And the cute 22-year-old girl who tends the bar made fucking $65 an hour.
Exactly.
Working that shift, that's
Yeah.
a killer.
It's so
I mean, that's
cool.
literally
And she's not even that hot.
that was literally like why I jumped from out of the kitchen to like onto the bars. I was standing there one night and this guy was like, "Oh, yeah, it's like, I only made like $700 tonight." And it, you know, it was a restaurant down in the city, like in the Loop. It was a Rosebud restaurant, and like,
Go fuck yourself.
and I heard the guy,
Yeah.
yeah, he's like, I'm like, "You only made $700 tonight?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Friday, Saturday." He's like, "I expect to make a G," and I'm like, I need to get what I need to be doing what you're doing. like I'm paying back $50,000 in student loans to make like that in a week. You know, like what the fuck?
Yeah, pennies, man.
But yeah, kitchen's always been a crazy like its own beast back there. You know?
Oh yeah, big time.
And doesn't want to hear about your bad night front of house. If that guy's listening, complaining about his $700, don't bitch to the fucking kitchen about that.
Yeah, watch where you're standing when you say that shit,
Yeah.
man.
I was literally just like, excuse me, like what was that?
Yeah.
There's a disgruntled line cook somewhere.
Yeah. Right.
But that's why I was like really excited for my dishwasher guy who made all that money. I was just like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ,
Dude, you're set, man.
Yeah. But all right,
Go put it down on
We
the
got to give him
Bugatti.
a couple
Buy a
weeks
lot
to
of
hide that
energy
money
drinks.
before we put this podcast out.
well, that was like everybody else from the kitchen and stuff was up there too, like partying with us. And so they just started to spraying Coronas all over him and everything like that. And then all of a sudden, like, you know, people were like, "Oh my God, it's a lot of money." And I could like see them kind of like scheming, like maybe this guy falls down the stairs next
Yeah.
week or
Oh,
something.
Fucking hell.
He's going to come in with new wheels on his 99 Acura.
Toyota Tercel.
Yeah.
No, I honestly hope he just shows up to work because, oops, sorry, you got a little heavy.
Because
there.
we need him.
Yeah, well, because actually, like, he's a really nice dude and he busts his ass all the time. He's always flying around.
Yeah, God bless the dishwashers everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Unheralded.
Absolutely,
Unsung
dude.
heroes.
Yeah.
Whole place would fall apart without the
No
the
shit,
barbacks
dude.
and
No
the
shit.
dishwashers, man.
Yeah. All right, that is
And
the
he's-
end of segment 1,
He's
and it is
walking
time
out of
for
school right now.
shot number 2. Cheers.
Shouldn't be
Chaim.
talking so much. Oh, geez.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are still here at Charlie's Tavern in Grays Lake, and this is the Four Shots Podcast. This is segment number 2. We are here with Kyle Kiemle. I was about to call you Keeley.
Yeah.
Kyle Kiemle. Jay, let's just go right into it. You were telling a story.
Yeah, I was telling the story of when I got a little too buzzed after a shift at a place I used to work and gave away my Xbox to a kid who worked in the kitchen. From start to finish, it's not
I'll
that
keep
long
him
of a
on your
story,
side.
but no,
Why'd you give him the Xbox?
I'll explain, dude. So I had moved to this was the year that I moved to Grays Lake, and I had moved to Grays Lake in November, and this was right before Christmas. I had been here over a month, and I hadn't turned my Xbox on, so I was like, "Fuck it, I'm not even gonna whatever." Also, drunk Jay gets a little generous sometimes, and the kid's sitting there complaining. He's like, "I really hope I get what I want for Christmas this year," and I'm like, "Oh, this is fucking weird."
You gave it to him for Christmas?
No, I just fucking gave it to him.
But I mean, like, you're like Santa Claus. You're like a drunk Santa Claus.
Yeah, and fat and everything. Yeah. Yeah. Young Santa Claus, man. That's my new rap name.
Young Santa.
Yeah. But so like I'm like I'd had my shifty. 2 or 3 other people gave me their shifty because everybody was like, "Well, Jay will take it," and I'll just you want my shifty? Just clear that table for me. And be like, "Fuck yeah, dude." Yeah, I was like, you can have mine, dude. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah. And I kind of put it out of sight, out of mind, whatever. I come in the next day. He's like, did you bring it? And I was like, oh fuck. I committed to that. And this is a child who works in the kitchen.
Oh, so you remember that?
Bad for him.
He wasn't as drunk as you were.
He was not drunk at all. He was just And I gave it to him, and then I found out like a month after that his parents took it away from him. So it's not that they couldn't afford to get him an Xbox. It's that he was a shitty student, and they were like, get good grades and we'll get you one. And he's like, I'm not going to do that. And then some fucking fat idiot waiter at his job is like, ho, ho, ho.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. So I brought it in, and then he was asking for like passwords and shit. I was like, buddy, you got to reset all that. My credit card's on there. Oh, fuck. Now I'm like double, like, fuck. But yeah,
just downloading all the games.
He did it. Well, I don't think he had time. It got taken away so quick. But I work with him where I work now. He works in the kitchen there, and he got it back. So I'll tell him all the time. He's like, it's still running great, and I'm like, it's not a car. I don't care. It's a fucking Xbox. It's yours now. But that's good to hear, I guess, buddy. Yeah, that's a fairly weird restaurant story, man. Really nothing to do with restaurants. Just a cautionary tale about
well, it happened at a restaurant.
Yeah, it did. A cautionary tale about having an extra gin martini and then feeling generous. Just what happened. It's literally what happened. Like,
Someone get this guy a gin martini. I'm gonna ask him for some money.
Yeah. Might work, dude. I don't know. I haven't had a gin martini in a while on purpose.
Oh, that's hilarious.
We got anything else to
Wake
give
up
away?
without my shoes, and I'm fucked.
That's funny.
Really like that hat you're wearing.
Yeah, a lot of people do, actually. I could tell you where to buy one, but you don't want this one, dude. This thing's fucking totaled. Too much fat guy sweat.
I always did that. I'd always have the same hat that I'll bartend in.
Yeah.
And then after like a couple months, you get that like sweat ring that goes around it.
Well, a couple months, I can wear mine like 5 times.
Yeah.
You can see like
The
salt
line,
on it.
Yeah. Well, you got to soak it in like baking soda, and then there's a couple ways to clean them. Obviously, none of them work. Look at my fucking hat.
Well, I'm a Sox
Well, how many
fan,
have
but
you
I can't
actually
wear
tried?
a black hat. I'll
Yeah.
ruin it in 2 days.
I was gonna say you have to wash it like a special way. Like you can't just wash it.
You
like
can't
a
throw it in the
normal
washer or the
fucking
cardboard.
thing. Yeah,
Fucking
it
dissolve-
messes
like-
up. Yeah.
They got a
floppy.
thing that you can like. It's like a plastic molding thing that you put your hat in, and then you can just throw it in the dishwasher.
People
Yeah.
always tell me that works, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I always wash my hat." And then I bought one and did it, and it just fucked it. And I was
Yeah,
like,
the bill is
These
no
people
longer,
are
like,
full of
solid
shit.
if you do it wrong.
I know they're buying new hats every 2 months.
Yeah, fuckers.
Oh man.
Show offs.
The big hat industry is out there selling these fucking hat guards for the dishwasher, and they're like, these fucking suckers, we're printing money. Suck it, lids. I'm
That's
on
why-
you.
That's why I like the beanies, man. But
Yeah.
you can't wear them in the summer. It sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I've tried to like bartend in a beanie, and next thing you know,
Oh,
you're
fuck
just
that.
fucking dying.
Yeah.
And then
It's
your hair
cold enough
sucks.
for like 5 days every winter for me to bust out a beanie hat and a real winter
Right.
coat.
Yeah.
Well,
You
because
know?
then you're going to get inside somewhere. It's going to be hot. You're going to take it off, and your hair's going to be fucked. It's going to be everywhere.
The only reason
you
to
know
be
how vain I
outside is
am.
to shovel snow.
Yeah,
And then obviously
yeah.
I'm going to overheat in a real hat.
Yeah, true.
So that's a question I have for all of you because I wear hats all the time because I sweat my ass off, and I'm just on the entertainment side, right? But like you guys, like, do you wear hats every time you work? Because like everybody's like, why don't you just like do your hair? I'm like, fuck that, man. I'd rather just wear a hat, dude.
I
I don't
think
even want
that's-
to deal with it.
Pretty much the answer is
Yeah.
like, well, I don't even have hair anymore.
Yeah.
Mine's on its way up.
Yeah, me too. I'm on the short shave routine, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I had to wear a hat in the kitchen.
I'm
I
still
had to,
doing all
like,
right there.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
had to
there's
do
a lot
something.
wrong
Like
with
I had to
me,
cover
but
my hair
yeah,
one way or another. I'm not gonna wear a fucking
I'm lucky.
hairnet
Yeah.
or a
Yeah.
beard net. Good
Oh,
lord!
God,
Beard
dude.
net.
Oh my
You ever
god!
seen a guy
An
wearing one of
affront to
those?
humanity.
You fuck, man. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry for you.
I had to wear one up in Wisconsin at Mars
Yeah.
when I first started working there. Like, well, you know, you're out in the open, and you know, customers can see you. Like, isn't that more of an excuse to not wear?
Yeah,
have
yeah.
me wear a beard net right
Yeah.
now? I look like
Yeah.
a fucking idiot.
I don't think anybody was.
I
thinking
don't
that
have
far.
much working for me, and the beard's all I got. And you're taking that away from me? Fuck you.
They make this guy at Costco in Meadowa wear one, and he has like the 8th grader beard. That's like 20 total hairs. And I'm like, dude, just like put a piece of Scotch
There's
tape
more
over
net
it.
than there is beard.
Yeah.
What's the fucking point? Yeah, the little mustache. Yeah.
Oh shit, man! I just thought of something when you were talking about that kid.
Yeah.
I made a kid cry this weekend.
Let's hear that, dude.
I'm
Yeah,
not very proud of myself.
it happens, man.
Well, we'll
We've
be
all
the
done
judge
it.
of whether or not you should be proud of
We've
yourself.
all done it.
Don't call her that.
That's rough. That wasn't nice.
It's pretty funny, though.
But,
Don't worry, she won't watch this.
You'd be like, did you listen? She's like, yeah, it was so great.
Ha! You did it.
Yeah, perfect. And now I know I can say whatever I want. You're not gonna.
No, but yeah, we got like a little arcade area, you know, by the bathrooms. And parents always just let their kids, you know, run up there, and they keeps them busy while the parents are having a beer or two and
But it's
whatever.
out of sight from the parents too up there. So
Yeah.
that's kind of fucked.
And so a kid comes up to me and he's like, you know, the
Do
claw
whatever you want.
machine isn't taking my money. And I'm like, oh, like it ate your money? Like I can give you $1. Like, you know, sorry. Like, and he's like, no, it just won't, like the money won't go in it. I'm like, oh, well, all right. It's just broken. Don't use it. And so then like 10 minutes later, I go walking up because you got to go past that to get into the office. And I go walking past and the kid's like banging on like the coin part of it. And I'm like, hey man, like I told you it's not working. Like hitting it's not going to work. Make it work.
Leave it alone.
10 minutes later, go back by there again, and I just can, like, as I'm walking up to it, I don't even see it yet. I just hear, like, bang, 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 bang. And this kid is just, like, donkey kicking the machine. I'm just like, hey, like, get out of here. Go back to your table. Go downstairs. And all of a sudden, you know, server comes up to me, and they're like, did you kick, like, a kid out of the arcade? And I'm like, yeah, I did. And they're like, well, their mom's like a little upset about you telling them to not be up there. I'm like, okay, let me go explain it. So I go over to the mom. I'm like, explain what happened. She just looks at him and is like, you did what? And the kid just starts bawling. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, it wasn't a big deal. Like,
Yeah. He doesn't kick that hard.
It's like an Adam sound. No, mommy, no.
And I was just like, oh my God. Like, I was like, afterwards, I'm like, I think I just got that kid in a lot of trouble. Like, I'm not
Well,
really
you got lucky
sorry.
you didn't have one of those crazy parents who like doesn't know their kids can lie. Because a lot of parents are, you know, like,
Yeah.
he's like, I didn't do anything wrong, and she's
Perfect
like, I know that
angel.
that's true because you said it, and you know, just fucking unload on
Yeah,
you.
that's not what
on
he
a
said.
busy
You're like-
Saturday night, you know.
Who cares what he said?
Every kid that ever cries in a restaurant probably deserves it. Just gonna say it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like people always get mad when there's like a baby or a kid crying at a restaurant, and I'm like sitting there. I'm like, I agree with the kid. I want to cry right now. Like I don't want to be here
Oh,
either.
dude.
Well,
So
okay.
many
Well,
times.
when you put it that
If it
way.
was socially acceptable, I'd be doing it.
When I'm bartending and you just hear some baby just like shriek at like the lamp, I'm always like, me too, kid. Me too. I get it. I don't know what you're so fucking upset about. You don't even have to walk. You just sit there, get to chew on boobs all day. Fucking jerk. And you're not
Living the
happy with that? I have to work, you little fuck.
I get so annoyed when I'm setting up my shit, you know, and I'm like right by the stage at like Finn's, you know, and it's like what 7:30, and this family comes in and sits right in front of the stage with their little baby, and I'm like, oh no, here we go.
Yeah.
Well, tonight's gonna be the worst.
And I always know it too because Evan will walk and be like, can you turn it down a little bit?
Dude, in Champaign, the owner of the restaurant I worked at would like walk up to families and be like, it's about to be 9:00, so you're gonna have to leave.
Yeah.
And like tell them they had to
That's
take
how it
their
should
kids out of
be.
the bar and leave at 9. And it was
Well,
I
great.
mean,
it is a rule
There's
some places.
There's certain places like a brewery. Like, why are you bringing your kids to a
It's the
brewery
thing to
for?
do now, man. Like,
Who
Yeah.
gives
cool
a shit
parents.
if that's the thing that it's
Move
Well,
over to
I
the
think
park.
they all
We
view
found
it
a
like
new place to bring
restaurants.
our
'Cause, like Finn's, a lot of
awful-
people just view it as a restaurant. They
Yeah,
don't even
sure.
realize it's a
Right.
brewery.
yeah,
Like,
but like
But
the
people
name
bring
is
their
in the
kids to
brewery. It's like,
Tighthead,
hey,
trust
there's
me.
bring their fucking kids
beer
here.
made here.
People bring their kids here.
It's not allowed.
It doesn't.
That-
make
yeah,
sense.
this is
during the
definitely
day.
not
Yeah.
There's nothing here. Hey, you want some chicken tendies? Hey, Jay, can we get some chicken tendies? It's like, we don't have a kitchen
actually
here.
straw for a child to just chew on and hopefully not choke to death on.
On
There's
this,
some sort of a shot.
Incredible.
Yeah, but Kyle, one thing I was gonna say, like, we were excited that you were coming on because you were back of the house. We haven't had anyone from the back of the house really on yet. And I've talked about, we were talking about like in the show The Bear. I had to stop watching it because he's having that night. There's that episode where he's having nightmares.
Yeah. As soon as you said the episode of The Bear, I already knew which episode you were talking about, what moment you were talking about with the printers just spitting tickets and it won't stop, and he's having a mental breakdown, and the sous chef quits, and then the one guy's like, hey, I got the chocolate cake right.
Exactly.
And he's like, man, I don't give a shit right now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yes, I've been there.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, has there ever been a night like, I don't know if it's lack of prep or whatever, or if someone just walks out on like of the line on a Friday night. You ever had just like a meltdown? Just holy, like, how am I going to get through this night?
Yeah, there's been a couple of nights at almost every restaurant that I've ever worked at that I had like a serious dinner service at where, something was under prepped. When I was at this one place in Antioch, the first place that I got my job at, this bartender used to just, if people were like trying to show up at 3:00, even though we didn't open till 4, he would let them in.
Yeah.
And
let them order food, or
yeah,
just let them
yeah,
into
no,
the bar?
no. If they wanted food, and I'd be in the middle of like, I'm on the last
prepping,
hour
yeah.
of my prep, and I'm in
yeah.
there pretty much by myself.
Yeah.
There'd be times where you'd be like, hey, these people want this and they want that, and how much longer on those Korean pork tacos? I'm like, they're not ready yet. It's like, well, they want 3 orders of them. It's like, okay, why are you telling them about it? Why
What's making
what's going
them
on?
Not
Like,
be ready. Like, this is slowing me down.
Yes.
in fact.
Like, I let
Not
people know,
slowing
I'm
shit
like,
up.
you can sit at the bar and have a drink, but kitchen's got another hour.
yeah, no, and he was one of those guys. He's like, well, it's the service industry. We're here to serve people.
Oh, eat shit, buddy.
Yeah, and like, yeah.
So
Sorry,
do
man.
it. So serve them.
Sorry.
And he was that dude before open and after close too. It'd be 10:30. I'd be like finishing up dishes. He'd be like, "Hey, they want a hummus plate." It's like, well, the kitchen's closed. Well, what about an ahi tuna? It's like, that's even worse.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? What do you mean you want me
It's
to make them
all
a fucking
closed.
ahi
The whole
tuna right
kitchen
now?
is closed.
I'm trying to break down and get the fuck out of here. Like, I haven't even asked you for my shifty yet. And you're trying to get, no, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, fuck
Like,
that.
and like, there are certain people that are just like, yep, yeah, I'll do whatever you want. Yeah, sure. Like, and he was one of those dudes that was just like, no matter what the customer wanted, yep, sure, I got you. Whoop whoop.
Fucking Mickey Mouse.
Instead of saying behind, he would always say whoop whoop.
Oh,
Like,
God.
And the
So,
bar and the
I would have
kitchen,
turned
the bar
around and punched
Like
him.
a juggalo?
Oh no, it wasn't a whoop.
Did you work
whoop,
at
like
Shenanigans?
Was he a clown on the side?
No, he was just like, well, everybody else in the bar business has behind and stuff like that, and I just like to make fun little sounds.
up
I'm
a
like,
little bit.
what the fuck, dude? You are a grown ass
He
man.
just goes, womp, womp, womp.
He just needs to feel special.
Yeah, well, then he told me he was in the Navy. I was like, okay, it makes sense. Sorry, Armed Forces. No, he was just one of those like ultimate kiss asses. Like, just
disclaimer:
always
we
kiss.
respect the armed forces.
100%.
Not this
100%.
specific guy, though.
Fuck this guy.
Respect the armed forces, just not everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
Everybody else, you're fucking cool. This one dude, fuck you, man. You were such a dickhead.
Yeah, we run into that all the time. Like, people, like, you want to please people, especially like on a busy night, when people are trying to get tables and stuff like that. They're like, well, like, it's an older couple and they just want a table for 2. They're just going to eat dinner. And I'm like, all right, well, they still got to wait 45 minutes too if they don't have a reservation. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you got to have a backbone. You can't make everybody.
We need to start saying fuck you to people. Like, I'm sorry.
I'm all for that,
I
dude.
am sorry, but like,
Dude, that reminds me of a Bill Burr sketch.
There's
man.
got to be a point
Yeah.
where we just can't put up with this bullshit anymore. I know I'm not in the business anymore, but
No.
still, it's just like,
No, but you get it. Saturday
these
night.
people, they're so entitled. They come walking in, they're like, oh, well, I see your restaurant's full. Why can't I get a table? I know the owner. It's like,
But
yeah,
that
me
table's
too.
open, and they had a reservation, and you fucking don't. We had on Saturday night, I was in the middle of changing a keg, and I was fucking pissed off already. And one of the servers leans into the keg room and goes, "Hey, we have somebody calling and asking if we can accommodate a 35 to 40 top." And I was like, "Go fuck yourself for asking me that, and don't and don't tell them this, but fuck them too, and just tell them no, and that we do take reservations." And I fucking went over and closed the keg door because she was just standing there, and I was like, on a Saturday night, and we were full. You know, if we were empty, I still probably would have been pissed off. I might have done it, but
Hey, is it cool if we come in and just absolutely ruin your night?
I just realized me and 34 of my friends are hanging out tonight. We didn't know about it until just now. Fucking idiot.
When they act like shocked that they can't, like that you don't have room, I'm like, what are you thinking? Like, who are you? Have you ever gone out? Like, especially like where I'm at, like, we have bands Friday and Saturday night, so we're busy. And it's like, yeah, it's a 9 o'clock walk in, like 25 top. We'd like to be seated. I'm like, no.
Do you guys ever get the "I'll make it worth your while" guy?
Yeah,
Oh
and that's
my God.
not going to be a 20%
Never.
tip
Yeah.
ever. It's going to be like
it's
15.
like, I'll tip 15%.
Oh. All right, pop. Yeah,
I
let me
know
get
how
you
to
a
take
table
care
real
of
quick.
people.
Yeah.
Just
I had a
not
guy
you.
one time, he was trying to pay me to get him a table. And he was actually like offering, like a couple $100 for a table. And I'm just like, no, like we don't do that. Like, sorry, I got a list. Like if I'd give you this table even for $200, this guy's going to start yelling at me over here.
And you know that
And your
$200
money's just not worth
and
it.
the guy,
he's going to be entitled the entire time.
he
You paid
looks at me
$200.
and he goes, I'm really rich. And I was just like, cool.
Lots of these people are too, buddy. It's
Yeah, the steak's still $40. Like,
yeah.
So on kind of like my end of that,
Nice to meet you.
I get people who offer me money all the time, like to sing like sooner, right? And I never do it. And I'm like, dude, the price is 10 grand. They're like, what do you mean it's 10 grand? I'm like, I come here every week. I have regulars who come here every week. They are here all the time. I'm going to cater to them and do this in order. And the price is 10 grand. I turned down $600 in cash.
Are you serious?
I turned down $600 in cash because of that. Because
I would have taken the fucking
They
cake.
would have taken over your mic the entire night. It would have pissed your regulars
$600 in
off.
cash. I turned it down at Finn's because of that shit. Because honestly, man, it's worth it. You see how busy it is.
Yeah.
And part of the reason is that shit. That integrity is worth it more to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. The gig is worth more.
You'll sleep a lot better that night.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, have you ever had a night though, like where like someone's just like walked off the line and like left you like hanging
Yeah,
by yourself?
actually, this one dude up north in Wisconsin, the Wisconsin place that I used to work at, we had just got done doing a a Valentine's night dinner, and like, yeah,
Nice.
yeah, me and him had put this awesome menu together, but management kept on trying to like fuck it up. It's like, well, what if we give them this way? And like, we should charge like just this. It's like, no, man, I think we should charge like $150 a pop because of what this menu is going to be like. Now let's just do 75 and we'll throw in either a free bottle of wine or a free, like, I think it was like 4 beers. I'm just like, let's not do that. Let's make money off of this. Like, well, we want to get people in here. I was like, we are 2 tickets away from completely selling out. We don't need to worry about that. So it was incredibly busy. We had everything prepped out right, but a lot of our line cooks kind of like shit the bed that night.
Yeah.
And my sous chef at the time, like halfway through service, was just like, fuck this shit, and just like left. In the middle of like a big deal like dinner that we were just trying to like get established as like a regular thing up there.
Yeah.
Like we were gonna do like special occasion dinners and stuff, like beer pairing dinners, because they do like a Bourbon County and Oysters Day on Christmas Eve.
Oh, nice.
We had just
Okay,
done
we
one
should
on
do that.
we did a New Year's Eve one, like with beef Wellington and stuff like that, and then here we were doing like a surf and turf Valentine's Day dinner, and yeah, it didn't go well. It was tough, and that's when I decided I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go back to giving bartending a shot just part time and see what happens.
Yeah, I was working for a company, and I was working for Rosebud at the time, and one of the restaurants they had downtown, the entire like line walked off at like 6:30 on a Friday. Just like all 4 dudes were just like, "Fuck you,
Damn.
I'm out," and left. And so they just started, the corporate chef just started calling every restaurant, and they're like, bring over whoever can.
Hands,
Yeah.
I need hands.
That's exactly what it was. And so I had to go over there and help, learn a menu that I didn't know in 5 minutes, and didn't know where anything was and everything. And it was me and like 4 other dudes from different restaurants, and we never worked together, like.
Mhm. chemistry in the kitchen is
It's huge.
really, really
Yeah.
important. Like I used to joke around all the time at Light the Lamp, which was my last cooking job. Like we all were a very cohesive unit at one point.
Yeah.
We all got along really well. And I used to always joke around like, this is gonna be my last cooking job because I enjoyed it so much.
Right.
And then it started to fall off, and it kind of started to fall off, and then I got fired. And then all of a sudden I'm selling cars now. I'm like, okay, maybe it was probably
It
my
might have
last
been your
cooking
last
job.
job.
Right. Yeah, different terms, but yeah.
Yeah,
At the-
it was different terms.
At
yeah.
the funny thing, at the end of that night, like, you know, I go down to the office and like we're done cleaning and whatever, and it's like normally, you know, we'd be done at like midnight. It was like 3 a.m. or something, just because we didn't know where anything was.
Mhm.
And I go down to the office, tell like the chefs, like, you know, we're all taking off, we're out of here, and it's the corporate head chef, the corporate sous chef, the executive chef of the restaurant, and the sous chef of the restaurant. They're all in the office with like these little black books. Like this is like pre like cell phones, and they're all just calling every restaurant and everybody they know to not hire the guys that had just walked off.
Oh man.
And they're like, we're gonna be here till like 5 in the
Blackballing
morning.
them.
Yeah.
yeah.
They're just like,
Oh, I mean, yeah, you kind of sort of got to.
Yeah.
Like those aren't
Yeah.
reliable people. Like,
yeah. But like you were saying too, like you gotta have that coordination like with people that you like only comes with working with them over time. I think I burned the dude next to me like 3 times that night. Just like turning into him with a pan or like splashing him with something.
For sure. No, I mean, there's a handful of cooks that I've worked with. Like you do a dance with them.
Oh yeah.
Like you can do it blindfolded. Like there's a couple of people that I've worked with. Like me and this guy Tim. Like we were doing a waltz back there sometimes.
Yeah.
And like we were just when we were on, we were fucking on. Like it
Yeah.
was awesome.
It's almost like a ballet.
Yeah, seriously, it is.
Well, and there's got to be like a cool shorthand that you guys all kind of get to after working together for a while. You know, you kind of know where you're going to be, and then like shorthand lingo
100%,
and
that's
shit
where
like
it
that.
is.
You
Yeah,
know?
big time. Yeah, it's just like he was working at the station right next to me, and every time we'd be like walking towards each other to take food up to the window or something like that, or passing something over to the other person, like we could do it fucking blindfolded.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
And it's cool.
It's a great feeling, but when you get done, you're looking around, you're having a cigarette out on a milk crate in the back, and you're just like, I'm making $12 an hour doing this.
Yeah.
It's like, this isn't putting food on the table. Not
No.
mine anyway.
No, it really is a hard it's a hard lifestyle because like I always find it funny now. Like people like they're like, oh, I want to eat. I'm like, eat? Like, what are you talking? You don't get to eat. Like, if you're lucky, you get to like throw something in a piece of bread and scarf it
Seriously.
down. Like,
yeah.
like that's not it wasn't a thing back when I was cooking. Like,
Maybe you can eat between 4:30 and 5 when there's a little bit of a lull.
yeah, hopefully or
maybe.
something. But that was about it.
At the end of the night, some scraps.
Yeah.
that you know you're not going to use tomorrow.
And then like this is always a question I ask a lot of chefs and cooks and stuff too. Like, because I like found I did not cook at home when I cooked. Like I would literally like stop at 7-Eleven and get a couple Hot Pockets and a bag of like sour cream and cheddar cheese, like
Yeah.
chips or something
There
like
was
that.
a line cook when I worked at Center Cut who like servers would order food at the end of right before the kitchen closed, but like kitchen would send out somebody out and be like, "You guys are ordering food, order it now." There's just one line cook while he was making it would be like, "You pieces of shit should just get Burger King on the way home, like I fucking have to." And we were like, "Well, you don't have to." And he's like, "I'm not fucking cooking this shit for if I don't have to."
Yeah.
And it was just like it was like burgers. It was like burgers or pizzas were the two things we would get discounted. But it wasn't like we were all getting ribeyes or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I get the sentiment now. I
Yeah.
understand after seeing it for a long time. Like it's the equivalent of, I guess, a cook sitting at your bar after you're trying to close it. You know, having their
Exactly.
shifty or whatever.
Can I get a Manhattan up, please?
Oh, this isn't a perfect Manhattan. How do you fucking know what a perfect Manhattan is, dude? Fuck you.
But there were times that I'd go home and cook. Since I moved in with my girlfriend, yeah, I'd go home and cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's times I'd be feeling frisky and stuff, and be like, yeah, sure, I'll make
Wanna
you this
show off.
beautiful, elaborate pasta dish. But if the sauce separates, I'm gonna have a mental breakdown.
Exactly.
Doesn't
And
she
I-
have a whole Instagram of meals that you make her?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. My girlfriend has a entire Instagram page called Meals My Boyfriend Makes Me,
Oh, nice.
and it's just all this stuff that I would make, like when I'd either be coming home from work or just on my days off. I love cooking. Like I still love it. Like even though I'm not in the business now, like I feel like I'm even better at it now
Yeah.
because there's no pressure on me to like
When you don't do it all
do
day,
it
right?
and I'm
So-
not doing it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. but still, there'd be times that like I'd go home and I'd just whip up like, yeah, sure, I'll make some chicken parmesan and I'll make the marinara from scratch and all this stuff because I'm a fucking masochist because I'm a line cook.
Yeah.
Like a lot of cooks, we're all just masochists, man. Like, fucking, who cares? Bring it on.
Very true.
But if I did fuck something up after like a 12-hour day and it's like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, and I'm trying to cook something, yeah, I broke stuff. Like I would literally lose it.
Yeah.
Like if I just fucked up this tiny little thing while cooking at home.
Yeah.
No consequences whatsoever. Like customer's not going to complain about it. I'm not going to get a negative Yelp review about this or anything like that, but it didn't turn out the way that I wanted.
Yeah.
It's
And
fucking pissed
it
about
really
it.
hurts your pride. Like I was that happened to me maybe a month ago. I was cooking pasta for my lady and her mom was like, bring some back for me. And I'm like, all right, I'll send her home with like a Tupperware thing of it. And I burnt the cream sauce.
Mhm.
And I was like so pissed. And like my girlfriend's like, she's like, it tastes fine. I'm like, I can
Shut the fuck up. No,
I'm
it doesn't.
Yeah. I'm like, I can taste it. And I go in there and I take the Tupperware that like she's gonna bring home and I just throw it in the garbage. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, your mom can't have it. Like I'd rather her not have it than like than have her
She's
like
gonna think I'm an idiot.
There's been so many meals that I've made even after I've been out of the business. I'm just like, I used too much salt and I should
my God, yeah.
have made this sauce the other way. And like, I won't even touch it. And she's like, this is one of the best things that I've ever had. I'm like, it fucking sucks. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
it's
like,
terrible.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Broccoli.
dude, if I overcook a steak,
There's a little bit of char on it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
medium. It's fucking medium.
yeah.
And my pan sauce is separated.
it's funny. Like you just
She's sitting in the corner like, what?
It's so good though. I swear to God.
But it really is like if you fuck it up, like because I don't cook a lot at home. Like I would do it, especially when I was cooking. I'd cook all day, and the last thing I want to do. So like if I was making something, especially like I'd be with like a family member or someone's house or something. So if I fucked it up, like I took it to the core. It was just like crushing.
It hurts
Like, you'd be
so
like, I swear to God, I'm actually really good at this. I know what I'm doing. I swear to God. Like,
This never happens.
It's okay, sweetie. We'll get you a pill for this.
all right, and that is the end of segment 2, and time for shot number 3 or 5.
Sipping on it at this point.
All right, cheers, boys.
Okay.
Skull, whatever.
Fuck the Vikings.
Not the team. So
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for segment 3 of this episode of the 4 Shots podcast, and this is where we kind of get to better know our service industry worker in a little segment I like to call the 1,
2,
3.
4 question.
Nailed it. Yep. Let's go.
We've literally gotten that one time. We got it the first time, and we haven't done it since then.
These things take practice, Evan. Practice makes perfect.
I don't get how we're getting worse though at it.
Can't have anything to do with the beer.
Don't overthink it. Let's just.
I've had like 75 to 100 drinks in between now and the time we got it right. So that's probably it.
All right, so Kyle, we got a list of questions that we ask basically everybody that comes on here, and we'll
Who
just
is
go-
your daddy and what
What
does
does he do? He's a retired iron worker, and I do garage door jobs with him sometimes.
There you go. All right. Question number 1's done.
That's such an underrated movie too. Kindergarten Cop. I fucking
Kindergarten
love it.
Cop for the win.
Yeah. Oh, before we get started, actually, tell us you brought us a little treat in here today that we are sipping on.
Oh yeah, I got us a couple of bourbon counties that I brought in just because I had them laying around. I think this one's a 21. You can't go wrong with Bourbon County. I mean, back in the day,
No,
it used
this
to be
one's
like
good.
a highly sought after thing, and now it's on every shelf everywhere. And
Yeah, that
Nobody
big
cares anymore.
stout explosion that happened,
Yeah.
7-8 years ago or whatever, kind of died out.
But I mean, Goose Island was like one of the first. Were they the first with the barrel program? One of the first.
I think they were one of the first ones.
They're credited as the first ones to put beer to age in a whiskey barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the first time I had it. I I'd never had it before. Like I came back from Colorado and I was at a bar my sister's working at. And she's like, and I was like, I just want to sit down. They're like, oh, here, like this is like really popular now. And they gave it to me and I'm like, oh man, this is fucking good. I drink like 10 of them. And then I stand up to like leave.
Night.
And I was just like, holy
10
shit.
of them?
Yeah. I mean, they were like 12 ounce.
Good for you, dude.
They were like 12 ounce pours. They was on tap. But like, I didn't realize. I got up and I'm just like, I'm like hammered. I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like,
I
oh
only
yeah,
had
it's like
10
14%. I'm
Yeah.
like, so I basically drank a case of Budweiser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
like
yeah.
one of the first. I mean, the first two barrel stouts that I remember was like Goose Island, like I think the 2009 or 2010, and then KBS too.
Yeah, KBS.
Founders Kentucky Breakfast Stout is fucking
Yeah.
holy shit.
Yeah. That's obviously.
That one's awesome.
Put your dick in the dirt.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
we got some beer up at Finn's right now that's been sitting in Four Roses barrels for just over a year.
Ooh, that's what's up.
I love
Yeah.
Four Roses.
Yeah,
Be coming out.
I have so much time for Four Roses.
All right, well, let's get into the questions. So question number one. I know you're not in the industry anymore, but you kind of still have almost the same days off, right? Like,
Yeah, no, Sundays and Mondays I'm off
Yeah.
because just that's the schedule that I'm used to.
So what do you like to do on your day off? Are you know like what?
Sundays generally like a do something brunchy related with the girlfriend, whether it's me making it or we go somewhere or we just get something fucking Grubhubbed on the way in, and then football because
Yeah.
everybody loves American tackle football. I don't feel like I fit in at the moment right now, but I'm a cheesehead. So
Oh, geez.
yeah, no, nobody's
geez.
perfect.
Yeah.
Oh jeez. And then Mondays is just kind of like a get ready for the week, do laundry, do chores, smoke a bunch of weed, play video games.
Nice.
You know, just relax. And then, my new schedule, it's not too far off from my old schedule. I'm still working 50 hours a week.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing 12-hour days on Tuesdays and Thursdays,
Oh,
and then
geez.
10 hours on Saturdays. So, I mean, when I first got into it, my bosses were like, you're going to have to work, these long days, on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, it's going to be double digits. Either you're going to handle that. I'm like, I could give him like the dead air. So like, you don't know where I've been.
Yeah,
right.
I actually get to sit down at this one.
Yeah, I get to sit down. Like my hands aren't getting burned, or almost like I grab the exhaust of a fucking Tundra or some shit like that. But like, no, it's chill.
Yeah. So usually just like one day with the girlfriend and then chores for the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Question number 2. When you were like getting done with work and driving home, were you a driving silent guy or were you blasting music? Or something?
Blasting loud, obnoxious punk music as loud as I can get it.
Really?
Oh yeah, just blasting my eardrums out. Oh yeah, fuck yeah. No Effects, Rancid, Dillinger 4, all that stuff. Sometimes like depending on how bad of a night I had,
Mhm.
the heavier it got.
I mean,
Like
those
if
are
I had
all
like a
names.
really bad night, like it was something like heavy, like Every Time I Die, Norma Jean,
Yeah.
The Chariot, something like that. Never going home in silence.
No?
no, I do not want to be alone with my thoughts. It was a bad juju right there.
When you're in the kitchen, would you guys be like blasting music?
Yep.
Because I've worked at places that like one, it was always on, or two, they were like, you can't play music at all.
No, always music to kind of sort of match the pace for the night.
Yeah.
Like, so if it was like a really busy night, I wanted to listen to something like fast and heavy.
Yeah.
Like
keep
Luck
going.
Be a Lady.
You already know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I always wanted to listen to something fast,
Yeah.
or something that's just like a good hip hop album. Like one of my favorite hip hop albums to listen to was Strictly Leakage by Atmosphere,
Yeah.
because it's just like it's got a lot of funk to it, a lot of jazz to it, so you just kind of get into it, like bobbing your head to it, like the beat, like the bass was just driving.
Yeah.
So you get music like that going in the kitchen. It's just like the vibes are up. Everybody's just fucking like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Fucking turn and burn, baby. Let's go.
All right, let's go to question number 3. Give us one thing you love about the industry and one thing you hate about the industry.
I love the camaraderie of the industry. When everything's hitting right and everybody's on the same team, everybody's on the same page. Like goddamn.
Yeah.
Like you can't replicate that with any other business. Like in my opinion, like I've worked a lot of different jobs. I've worked in grocery stores. I do garage door jobs on the side with my dad. I'm selling cars now. Like there's nothing like when everybody's on the same page and we're fucking moving and grooving.
Yeah.
The music's going good. Like the servers are coming back. Oh, table 12 love their cheeseburgers and all that stuff. Like you can't.
And you're like, thank you, but shut the fuck up.
All right,
Yeah.
you got a groove going.
And then when like 10 o'clock hits, the kitchen's closed. Everybody goes out back and sits on a milk crate. They crack open a beer. They're having a dart. Maybe there's a joint getting passed around. Like you can't match that.
It is like a Band of Brothers type thing where it's
100%.
like you guys just went to war together. Like
100%. We went to war together. We screamed together. We bled together. We all got injured together one way or another, whether it was our pride or.
At U of I, it was always like, our bar was a shitty dive bar in constant financial distress, but we had like a really popular wing special night. And that was the night you really felt like a fucking team. You're out there cranking out 4-gallon containers of ranch. It's like
house-made ranch.
Yeah, like 10 pounds of wings at a time. Just
Yeah. Friday night fish fries for us too, man. Like whenever we were just like, because that's what people would show up for. It was like, we did a really good fish fry, and we were 20 tickets deep all the time. And we're just cranking it out, and everybody's happy with it. Like that's a fucking great feeling. Is when people are acknowledging the fact that you're good at your job. It's pretty cool, especially when we did the beer for a kitchen thing too.
Oh yeah.
And like we'd have a drum that we'd all bang on and stuff, and everybody would just start screaming their ass off.
what's the beer for a kitchen thing?
It's at Light the Lamp. You can. It's on the menu to buy the kitchen and beer.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
$5.
Like, so the customers buy you guys one?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and we kind of sort of use that as our tip system. Like we would just we wouldn't actually use it for beer. We would just like stash it all up because it was $5 per.
Yeah.
So at the end of the month, it was the boss, the head chef at the time would just like, okay, you work this amount of hours, you work this amount of hours, you get this amount of the kitchen beer money, you get this amount of the kitchen beer money. So
based on the percentage of hours.
yeah,
that you
yeah,
worked,
exactly. And that was really cool. And whenever that came in, like somebody would just like start grabbing the drum, even if you had I'm got 5 frying pans in my hand, and all of a sudden I hear the thump, thump, thump. It's like, all right, cool. But there are other nights where it's like, man, I'm too busy to give a shit about this right
Just
now.
like, thank you, appreciate it.
Cool. Thanks. Like, I'm the next one. But in the same breath though, like there was nights where we weren't on, and it was fucking crazy busy, and we were short a couple of people, and it was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
It was like that episode of The Bear, like the printer, like you can hear it in your sleep, like it just keeps going and going and going and going.
Everyone in the industry's had that nightmare. Like you've been out for a year now. Do you still get that at all? Like
No.
So
Not
it does
anymore.
go away.
It eventually goes away. I stopped having nightmares about it. I've made peace with it, as you could say. But there's still times though, like every once in a while, like when I'm like really high. Like, cause sometimes the weed gets into your head a little bit too much, and you're just like thinking about random shit. It's just like, oh, that one time I could have done this better.
Yeah.
It's like
I have like a pot overflowing kind of like little like mini nightmare tick kind of thing that happens to me all the time.
Like you boil over a pot?
Or I'm like filling a pot or something and it like overflows or something, and it's just something in the back of my head. I'll be like driving to work and I'm like, fuck, did I leave the stove on?
Yeah.
Is that pot filling? Is that boiling over? And it's so weird because like obviously before driving to work in the city in the morning, I wasn't like boiling.
Making pasta.
Yeah. I wasn't like boiling anything or filling, like doing
pasta.
any. And I'll just like all of a sudden get just like a spike of anxiety, like, oh my God, that shit's boiling over.
Yeah.
did I turn the fryers off last night?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I would have nightmares about that. Like I owned a place for a little while, and I would literally like be laying in bed and just like be like, I left that fucking stove on, and like have to drive 20 minutes back to the place, get there. Of course I didn't fucking leave the stove on.
Of course not.
Back, yeah. But
Can you put a price on peace of mind though?
seriously, I'm either gonna
Yeah,
spend
$10
an hour
worth of gas.
Yeah, well, like it's like go take the 45-minute
This
round
economy?
trip, to make sure, or I'm gonna not sleep tonight. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tons of stuff like that. Like, man, I could have braised that beef a little bit differently.
And I feel like it'd be like the one time you don't check on it, that's when the place just
And
goes
then
up,
burns
burns
up.
up.
There's been a couple of times where I have caught myself, I did leave the stove on.
Yep.
There was one time I was boiling eggs and I went upstairs to play video games. And like an hour later, I had totally forgotten about the eggs, and I heard like a tick, click, and I mean, I'm fucking like 17. I was like in high school, and I was totally freaked out. I was like, someone's downstairs, and I hear crack. And I'm like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? So I run in my parents' bedroom and I get the sword. You know,
Every
Yeah,
family
all-
has one.
yeah. Every family has an
Ah, the
antique
family sword. We've had it for generations and
I like-
never
I like
used
to
it.
keep
But
mine
now
above
is the
my
time.
Family Valyrian
Ours
steel
was like a
stool
Dr.
sword.
Zhivago Russian Revolution like cavalry sword.
Those are good. Those are good
So
for
I
home
like
defense.
unsheath this fucker and I'm like in my underpants and like run downstairs in the kitchen
I've been waiting for this moment.
and there's just a pot full of eggs smoking, burning on the, and they're just cracking open and they just keep going pop, pop, and like cracking apart, and that's what I had heard. And
And
I'm like
everything
literally
smells like
standing
farts.
there with the sword over my head in the kitchen. I'm like, oh fuck, I burned the eggs.
I was making egg salad and fucked it up.
Way she goes.
It's a good thing your family has a sword, though.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
Did you cut up the eggs with the sword though when they were done? Just all those yolks just green.
Do you guys
they were like
sharpen it,
charcoal.
or is
They
it
were like
just-
charcoal.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Woof. Woof.
too much Diablo 2.
Has anybody ever used? I'm not giving up on the sword. Has anybody ever used the sword? As far as you know,
No. It was handed down.
good to know that you have it, though.
Yeah, I mean sometimes you need a nice heavy saber.
Yeah, my family sword, because we have one too, is some weird ancestor.
This is like
Duh.
Does it kill White Walkers?
I don't know what it does.
40% of the people in this room have swords.
Wait, Evan,
So
you're
actually,
Irish, you don't have a sword. What the fuck?
No.
I grew up with a sword
In
in,
a
my
sword
house.
house?
My dad has a samurai sword, and now my daughter literally has a fucking sword as well.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
This
she
is
got
like
a
a Knights
sword
of
for
Columbus
fucking
sword
Christmas
that
from her
my-
friend.
One of my grandparents had, and it's just like it was displayed above the fireplace for a while, which I was like, okay, it's come on, guys. But I still know where it is at my folks' house. My dad does too, and that's important.
Dude, my roommate out in Colorado, one of the kids I lived with, we were ordering sandwiches from our buddy. He had like a Philly cheesesteak place, and we knew everybody that worked there. We'd always be fucking around with everybody. So the driver comes by, and he's this goofy fucking guy. We called him Bubbles. He looked like Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys.
Excellent.
And so we didn't have any cash to tip him, and for some reason, I
Give
think
him a sword.
we fucking legit did. For some reason, the guy was like, "Yeah, we don't like have any cash. Like, he's like, I'll give you a tip on the card." And he's like, "But I also want to give you something." And he's like, "Do you like drugs?" And the guy was just like, "Yes." And so,
Every delivery driver ever.
Yeah.
Yes, I like drugs.
And so he's like, "I didn't even know you had it." But he's like, "I got a couple hits of acid. Like, if you want that." And the guy was like, "Oh yeah, like I want that."
Yeah.
And I'm just like, "Okay, like you're tipping the delivery guy like with acid. Like that's fucked up, you know?" Like.
Incredible.
And then like he went to go get it, and the kid went with him like into his room, and he saw this sword that like my roommate had this like samurai sword in the room. He's like, "Oh yeah, you can have that too. I don't want it anymore." And then like the guy leaves. I'm like, "You just gave Bubbles like 2 hits of acid and a samurai sword." Like,
What could go wrong?
yeah, I'm like we're definitely gonna hear
I'm
about
going
this
on a
tomorrow.
quest.
Just walks back into Papa John's like, "Yep, today's been pretty sweet."
Jesus.
But I was like convinced. I'm like, this guy is gonna murder everybody in the school. Like,
Not you guys. You guys are safe. He'll remember where he got the sword from.
You're cool.
Yikes.
oh shit. All right, well, let's not get too off track. Enough with
Oh,
our
no.
swords.
We stay on this path.
No, this is what the podcast is for.
Yeah.
I can't believe we've gotten through so many episodes without talking about swords before.
Yeah. Really?
How has it never come up?
This is like the
They're
fifth one.
fucking up.
We've recorded like 10 hours of like podcasts and haven't mentioned swords once.
Zero sword talk. Not anymore.
No. Not how I thought
Box
adulthood would
checked.
be as a child.
Yeah.
At all.
I thought there'd be way more swords.
Way more. Way more.
You rarely get to see them anymore.
I didn't know I'd be this drunk either, to be honest.
I had a feeling. Family history.
I wonder, like, like there's carry and conceal like permits. Like, could you just walk around with a fucking sword on?
There's a blade
no,
limitation.
There's a blade limit.
Oh, okay.
That's like
Fucking ruin all the fun.
5
Yeah,
inches
say
for
right,
a
isn't it?
folding blade and
It-
like 6 inches for a regular blade.
It varies per township too. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
In
it's not-
Knollwood, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
I need to find a sword friendly community.
Unincorporated Lake County, dude.
Yeah.
You could burn a couch in my front yard until last year.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah,
Did they-
totally.
did
They made a
come and
law
yell
about
at you?
couches specifically. What about chairs?
No, they like outlawed burning because everyone's afraid of COVID, and they're like, "Oh, if you
Fucking
burn
liberals.
leaves, it's gonna give you COVID."
Oh,
Yeah, so
Technically,
they
I
didn't-
this
didn't
is a
so
love
follow
burning.
seat,
that
not a
train of thought
couch.
until you explained
Yeah.
it. So yeah, now it makes sense.
How did you find out about that change in the rules? Were you burning a couch? And
Yeah, actually, it's funny because
That's a valid question, actually. Yeah.
no, I burned a big pile
Great
of
question.
leaves and sticks and stuff, and I was on Facebook, and somebody was like, "Be courteous to your neighbors. Recognize the rules about what days you're allowed to burn." And I was like, "Well, that seems like a coincidence. I just burned a big pile of shit today." And so
They were talking
one of
about
my
you.
neighbors, one of my neighbors had like passively aggressively posted it on Knollwood Neighbors Facebook page, and then somebody came to my defense and they're like, "No, you dumb bitch, it's Thursday. You're allowed to burn on Thursday." And I was like, "Yeah, bitch, it's Thursday."
100% knowing that it was Thursday and that was your day that you can burn.
Yeah,
right?
mind your business.
Was going to do it yesterday. Couldn't do that. There's a reason that we.
It's funny because the only days you're allowed to burn are like Tuesday and Thursday. I'm like, when do the people with jobs get to burn stuff?
Right?
Like
In the
everyone
middle
with
of
a
a
job
work
works
week?
Tuesday and
I think we
Thursday.
just-
Serious?
we just found your calling. You're going to be
Yeah.
an advocate for the people that
Yeah.
don't get to burn stuff.
The anti-Smokey the Bear. You're just out there like, you should be able to burn whatever the fuck, whatever the fuck you want, whatever the fuck you want to. This is America.
Yeah.
Gonna be out there
With a sword in your hand.
We used to be a proper country.
Light it up.
Holy shit. Okay.
This is amazing.
So back to the questions. Well, I don't even remember where we were. Oh, you got to give us one thing you hated about the industry.
Oh God. Owners and customers. Mostly just owners. Just. I worked at this one deli in Antioch for less than 2 weeks. He wanted to revitalize a deli that he had before, and then so he came at me. He's like, "Hey, we used to be work neighbors. Like I really like to, reopen this deli, and I feel like you're like the perfect guy to do it." I was like, "Awesome, yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to do that." It was slow for the first 2 weeks that we were open,
Yeah.
and then I get a text message on a Tuesday night. "Hey, I don't know if this deli thing is working out. I'm just closing the whole thing down."
Ooh.
After 2 weeks,
Yeah.
excuse me, and it was like, I want to say it was 2018, and it was in April, and it was snowing in April, and it was one of those places that kind of sort of relied on foot traffic.
Yeah.
And if it's snowing out, your foot traffic, it's not going to
Well,
happen.
I mean, no business is going to make it in 2 weeks. Like,
Yeah,
Right.
and he
No.
just
Yeah, what
fucking
kind of dumb drunk confidence did he have going into this? Like, oh man, I can retire in a month.
he just shut the fuck down after 2 weeks. I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah, thanks
Yeah,
for taking
now
me
I'm
away
out of
from
a
another
job.
job
Yeah,
that I had. Yeah.
I worked at a catering company. I left Epic Deli to go work at this catering company because they offered me $17 an hour. And when you're a line cook and somebody offers you $17 an hour, you're like, "Holy fuck, I'm gonna be rich!"
Yeah.
And so I worked there for 2 weeks, and then the owner just never called me back for next week's schedule or anything like that.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I mean,
And then
I'm
I was
fortunate-
like, "So am I ever going to get paid?" And they're like, "Well, what hours did you work?" I was like, "Oh, well, I worked these hours, these hours, and these hours." Like, "Well, did you punch in?" I was like, "You didn't have anything to punch in on." It's like, "Well, we need your exact hours or else you're not getting paid." I was like, "This doesn't seem like it's
Yeah.
worth the effort. You have security cameras and stuff. You can't help me out here." "Nah, we don't feel like it." It's like- so I got they got 2 weeks for free out of me.
yeah. I mean, I'm really fortunate now where I'm at, because the guy that owns my place of business where I work at, I said that really weird. But the owner of where I'm at, he's awesome. I mean, he takes care of all of his people. He makes sure we get what we need, whether it's support with equipment or days off and stuff like that, pay wise, he's always phenomenal. Like he's just a really good person. So I'm fortunate with that. But I have worked for some people that are just terrible. Like you said, I like the getting like screwing someone out of a week's pay is just kind of like I've seen that happen before, and I'm like what
are you doing?
Yeah,
what are you doing?
And it's not even like, say it was like, you know, the guy came in and for a week and like fucked around, and you're just like, all right, get out of here. And it's like, if you still don't pay him, like everyone else is watching that and seeing that too. Like I had a guy one time, he wanted me to fire people like in front of him because he thought it was like
he enjoyed that.
Yeah, kind of, or like he wanted me to fire.
You're sending a message.
Yeah, he wanted me to fire people in front of like other employees, you know, to like put everyone on notice. I was kind of like, that's fucked up, man.
Yeah.
But so if you ever like, I know I'm related to one of the owners of your place of work. Real dickhead. He was on the podcast last week. Yeah. No, but like everyone, all the people that own this place, like they're super cool. Like I've met all of them.
They took us out a couple weeks ago for a Christmas party, and there's only a couple people that work here. It's like 8 of us, I think, 8 maybe 10 people.
Yeah.
Took us all out to dinner. Open bar back here. One of the old guys that bartends during the day, we put AC/DC on, and he shit his pants. He was fucking air guitaring and everything.
Nice.
He does it every year. It's just like weird little tradition. He like jumps up and down. And,
he didn't really shit his pants.
No, he
Okay.
didn't.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, why'd you say it then?
Well, we do have a story about that. That's
Ruin it.
It seems to be like a consistent topic on this podcast. It's like shitting or pissing your pants.
If you don't shit your pants, you don't really party.
Yeah.
I mean,
See, I've never shit my pants.
Did
but
you
we
really
talked
have a
about
good
this.
time if you didn't shit your pants? Like,
Shit happens
fuck.
when you party naked. I mean,
yeah.
Well, you can't
you
shit your
can't shit your
pants if you're
pants.
wearing
You're a young buck still.
Yeah.
By the time you're 38, you'll have shit your pants. I guarantee it.
The prophecy is foretelling that I will.
It's like a sine curve, you know. You like shit your pants a lot when you're young, and then you enter the era of not shit.
I mean, once I turned 35, I had to be careful if I sneezed. Like,
Yeah.
You develop an alcohol problem and you shit your pants all the time.
Dude.
That's why we talked about me pissing my pants before. I'm pretty open about it. It's happened more times than I'd like to admit.
Oh my
Although I've
God.
admitted it the amount of times, so it doesn't really
Hey,
matter.
First
you
step.
admitted it, but you didn't like it.
No, I used to sleep in the fucking bathtub, dude.
Oh, dude. I peed all
We've
over
all
myself
fallen
3
asleep
times
in a
since
bathtub
Christmas.
here.
Yeah.
I
You
guarantee-
pissed your what?
I peed all over myself in public 3 times since Christmas.
This year?
Yeah.
Well, the one time you were
It's
sweet.
Valentine's Day, by the way.
Yeah. I pissed my pants riding the L back from a Cubs game one time. It was a day game, so it was like 5 in the afternoon, and I'm standing there, and we hit a bump, and I laughed at the same time. It's something somebody said, and I'd had like 25 beers that day, right? So I just pissed myself. These people are riding home from
Jeez.
work. This lady looks at me and goes, "You're disgusting," and I was like, "I know that."
So should we circle back to why day drinking is a good thing?
Yeah, no,
You're not.
I'm not saying it's objectively good. I had a great time though.
Oh, that's all that
I was
matters.
gonna say, if you're on the L, you just go in that little back part and pee like where everyone else pees.
Well,
Yeah.
it wasn't on purpose. I wasn't like, "This is where I'm going to do it."
Yeah, pee on the 3rd rail like everyone else.
Figure it out.
Oh shit. Okay. That brings us to question number 4.
Oh,
What?
there's
They got one more question. Yeah. What advice would you give to the average person to make them a better customer when it comes to restaurants or bars?
ooh, to be a better customer. Oh, that's such a fucking great.
'Cause I admit,
question.
we have flaws being service industry workers,
100%.
but I also think that the customers have a lot of flaws as well.
Yeah, if you want good customer service, be a good customer. Don't complain. Like nobody in the restaurant business is out to screw the customer.
Yeah.
Like the workers, we're not here to like fuck you over and just, you know, give you a middle finger just for the sake of giving you a middle finger. Like we want you to be happy. Accept that. And
Yeah.
like just accept the fact that there's a lot of things that are beyond our control.
Well, like, I mean, all right. So, like, complaining, like, about what? Like, I mean, are they complaining, like, hey, I don't like this meal or whatever, like, stuff like that?
I mean, that's kind of like if you're complaining about a meal that you ordered. I mean, if there's something on it that you didn't like, maybe you shouldn't have ordered it.
Right.
It's all there. And
I feel like the thing to do is like if you go somewhere and you order food and didn't like it, like either order something else next time or don't go there again. But like voicing your displeasure gets everyone nowhere. You're like, I don't like this place. It's
Yeah.
like, Well, fucking write an article
Like,
about it. But
well,
like,
they
what,
do.
What
They
do
go
you,
on Yelp and write a fucking
Yeah.
Every
article.
time I
But-
come here, something's wrong. Then go somewhere else.
but for them to
It
be
might
like,
be
oh,
you.
I didn't
I don't want
really
you
like
anyway. I'm
this.
sorry.
It's like, well, what do you want us to do? If we make the same one again, it's going to be the same.
Yeah,
Like-
that always. They're like, "Can you remake this?" I'm
Can
like,
you
"I'm gonna
make-
make it the same way."
Can you make
Like,
this again? And it's like, I can, but the same fucking guys are making it the same way again.
I told you
Like,
guys my martini story,
it's
right?
not a dice. It's not a dice. It's not just going to
Right.
land a different way
You
next
talking
time.
about the martini
Yeah.
story here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
The
yeah.
first martini I ever made here, the lady sent it back, said it was too sweet, and then ordered an Angry Orchard. And I made a martini like by the books. So at least she didn't order the same thing because it would have been the same thing. But I was like, "What do you mean it's too sweet? Like what? I'm a new bartender, right? I'm like, what did I do wrong? You know?" And then I made another one, tasted it the same way, and I was like, "What?" And the owner tried it, and he's like, "No, that's a fucking martini. That's what it's supposed to taste like." I was like, "All right, okay. At least she's just unaware. I don't. Maybe she thought it'd be classy to order a martini, but didn't know what it was. I don't know."
This is
She thought
definitely
it'd
the
be
place to
classy
order
here.
a martini.
Yeah, right.
To order anything here, she thought it would be classy.
Do you think a lot of people that come here know how to read the room, buddy?
Honestly.
It's pretty
A
readable.
lot
I mean,
do. Yeah. Well, yeah, because you know how to read the room. But some people are just clueless. They're like, I haven't
you
been
can
to
put
a
a
bar
bowling
in
ball
20
down in
years.
this corner and have a strike by the time it rolls to the other end.
One thing that used to get me though, we used to do smash, or I'm sure Light the Lamp still does smash burgers, but when you're getting a smash burger, you don't ask for medium rare.
It's impossible.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like your burger is getting smashed into oblivion.
The grease
It's-
is literally gonna cook it all the way through.
yeah, it's getting crispy and it's cheesy. What do you mean you want a medium rare smash burger?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
need to
there's no-
understand
there's
that
no
that
such thing.
style is the thin and crispy patty. Not,
yeah.
not
Yeah.
a pub burger, which
Yeah,
is like
right.
ordering
like
medium,
it just
you
like
know?
weird demands on stuff like that. Like they want like chicken to be cooked like as little as possible and stuff like that, and or like a flatbread well done. It's
Yeah.
just like it's gonna come out well done.
Or the
regardless.
no
It's a
salt on the
fucking
fries,
flatbread.
people.
Wait,
They're
so
like,
they're-
we're going to get fresh fries if you order it this way. You're going to get fresh fries here no matter what. It's not fucking McDonald's, dude.
Yeah.
They're cooking them to
We
order.
don't just have a fucking bucket of
fries, yeah.
just laying
Dude,
around.
Wait,
thing
so
that drives
people-
me nuts.
go ahead.
Thing that drives me nuts is like I work in the city. There's a lot of ethnic restaurants around us, and we're always trying to try new stuff. But like depending on who's working, you'll be like, "Hey, what do you want?" And they're like, "Oh, well, I want a number 3, but like instead of falafel, I want an extra pita, and then instead of yogurt sauce, I want mint sauce." I'm like, "Okay, you get on the phone. I'll have a number 3, and you spend 10 minutes." Explaining to Muhammad that you
Yeah,
want this
right.
fucking complicated substitution.
Trying really
in
hard
your
to
order.
understand you.
Because like we're working with a language barrier here, dude. Like I'll call up. I'm like, if we call the Cuban place, I'm ordering by the number.
Yeah.
I'm not like we're not. You don't get specialty shit, and that's the rule I
Enough
always
with
had.
the
I'm like,
mods, man.
if you want stupid substitutions, you order them because I'm getting exactly what's on the menu because I know that's how you avoid pissing people off and getting totally the wrong shit.
or getting piss in your food.
There's a reason. There's a reason they number everything on the Chinese menu up to like 130, including like
Yeah.
a ketchup packet. It's like number 99. You know, like
right.
they'll number everything so you can't fuck it up. And it's
Right.
like once you go off the script, you
Yeah.
could get anything.
Yeah.
So people would ask for undercooked chicken. That's a thing. Like
yeah,
you want
yeah.
salmonella on a plate, basically, is like
Yeah, pretty much. Well, it's gonna be juicier. Like every time I come here, the chicken's dry.
That's
It's
funny.
like it's a chicken breast.
I worked
like,
at a
Yeah,
place.
it's a chicken breast.
Like there's no fat on it.
Yeah.
And then I worked with this one guy. We had what we called the Slap City. It was pretty much a McRib. Yeah, but it was our version
Bring
of it.
back the McRib.
Yeah.
McRib's coming
So
back.
it was a
You ain't
boneless
getting none.
McRib sandwich. Every time he would put in like the rib portion, like we would yank the bones out, we would
Yeah.
pre-cook it, pre-sauce it, pre-season it, all that stuff. You just throw it back in the oven to get it reheated. He would squirt it with water. I'd be like, "Why are you doing that?" He's like, "Well, I don't want it to lose moisture." It's like, dude, when you're doing that, the steam is rendering all the fat out.
Yeah.
And it's making all the fat out, and that's making it drier. No, that's not how it works. It's like, no. Fat makes food juicy. Like
That's where all the
your
flavor's
lean,
at, too.
yes, your lean cuts of meat and stuff, like that's dry because of the lack of moisture, because of the lack of fat.
Mhm.
And then he would just be like, "No, just put some water on it.
I gotta know who
It'll
that
keep the
was.
food moist."
Off mic though.
Yeah. You and me know who that is.
I was
Oh,
making fun
maybe I
of
do. Maybe I do. Never mind.
I was making fun of my girlfriend 'cause she's in the industry too, and when we go out to eat, she is
Picky.
like, well, no, she will modify shit, and I'm like, you literally hate when people do that to you, and like here you are doing it. And she's like, I know, I'm the worst. Like she'll just be like, I would hate serving myself. I was like,
At least she's self-aware.
mm-hmm.
Also, unless there's like pig balls on it or something, like whatever they fucking decided was good, I trust them. Like I'm not 10.
Exactly.
I can eat like bell peppers and onions.
There's
like,
a
I don't
reason
need,
why
I don't
the
need
dish is
substitutions. you know?
configured the way it is.
Lay it on me the way your chef designed it, dude.
Yeah.
So play devil's advocate a little bit, just because why the hell not?
Because Mike likes to eat pig balls.
Yeah, exactly. No, so like if they don't like modifications, why allow it? Just be like, this is it. This is how we serve it. Deal
That's
with
a gray area,
I mean-
man. A lot of places are strongly
a
against
lot
it.
of places,
but
They
you
don't
just-
really allow it. The
yeah.
menu says X, and people are just like, I'm ordering Y.
And then
they
the server in between has to go, this isn't going to go over very well. Walk back to the kitchen and go, hey,
Get screamed at by a
they
line
want
cook.
a pizza, and I know we don't really do this, but can we get it with, or whatever, you know? And the kitchen guy goes,
Go fuck yourself.
or, yeah, sure, if
But
you're a
way
cute
louder.
girl. But
Oh,
I've
no,
never been
they're
a cute girl. So,
like,
It depends on
No,
how
but
many
they're
buttons
so-
you have.
Like,
the thing is,
yeah.
they're like, oh, you know that short rib entree that was prep cooked and already cooked for 9 hours?
Been
Well,
sous vide
they
for
want
36
something
hours.
different in it, and it's
Yeah.
like you can't fucking do that.
I mean, like there are
Right.
definitely like you're gonna find it at more like higher end places where
They'll
they're
say
like,
no
like,
modifications.
Can I get the risotto
totally.
with no cheese in it?
yeah.
I
and
don't really
no.
like rice. You have like cauliflower risotto.
Yeah.
You're like, no, we
Let me
don't.
go rice a whole fucking cauliflower for you in the middle of dinner service. That sounds great.
Yeah, it's just.
Why don't you open a fucking restaurant?
Yeah, I'll add the cream.
Can I get the fish fry, but with chicken?
That's one thing I never got. Is like when people like want to make their own dish up. I'm like, why don't you just stay home? Like stay home and like it would've
Make
been-
it your fucking self.
We had a lady that would come in and order-
25% of the price.
Yeah. She would order the ahi tuna at a steakhouse I worked at, and she would order it well done. And we were like, one time I was like, you know what that's going to be like, right? And she was like, I know, cat food, but I get it here every time, and they always do it. And I was like, okay,
gonna be
so
a
at least
cat
she
turd.
said cat food, because yeah, she knows. Once you overcook tuna like that, it's what's
Yeah.
the fucking point of getting tuna?
Yeah.
5 seconds aside, man.
Yeah.
like, you just- oh.
If you can eat it raw, you probably don't want to cook it well done.
Right.
So you
You
guys
don't
are
want to cook it at all.
It's like people. My mom's always like, "Can you make sure the salmon's done?" I'm like, "You can eat it raw. Like
Yeah.
it's done."
Yeah, right.
so you guys aren't like necessarily like talking like burgers and shit like that. You're talking more like meals. And
No,
shit that should be
toppings
cooked.
are different than like a
Yeah.
cooked.
Like an
dish.
actual
Yeah.
entree.
No
yeah.
onion on a burger is a normal order. No tomato, no onion, or ketchup only.
Fine,
That's fine.
no big deal. Yeah, sure.
If you order your steak, Pittsburgh, most places will still do that, right? I mean, it's not on the menu. It's a little irritating, but whatever.
Wait,
No,
what's
we're talking about like I want no
Pittsburgh blue,
cilantro
black
in
and
my
white,
salsa.
blue rare on the inside, right?
I want no
yeah,
cilantro.
like some sort
Yeah.
of like
It's like,
preset
we made
thing.
that at
like,
8 a.m.
Will you take
Yeah.
this ingredient out of like this dish? It's
Yeah.
just like
Well, and that's why a lot of, I mean, you can say
No.
no. You can say no to a customer, but a lot of new servers don't always know that if they're not trained properly and they're the middleman, and yeah.
I don't like onions. Can you take the onions out of my steak sauce? It's like,
No.
I had a guy tell me he was allergic to onions.
Nobody's
and this is
allergic
this
to
for an
onions.
Italian beef sandwich. He's like, so don't put the giardiniera on there because I'm allergic to onions. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, I have onion powder in the au jus. And he's like,
Oh, that's
he's like,
fine.
I'm fine. I'm like, you're not allergic.
No.
It's the gluten people, man.
And you-
It's the same thing
But
with
I'm
the
like, you
gluten
can literally
people.
just tell me like, don't put the giardiniera on there, and I'm not gonna put it on there. Like I was just
Totally.
like, did you think I was gonna like be like,
Yeah.
fuck you, like here, like take these fucking
Here's
onions out of the
extra.
jar. Like you know, I was just like,
I have a secondhand
So
story.
many people will say they're allergic to something just because they don't like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's enraging.
Well, to them, it's just the way to like not get
Not get it,
questioned
yeah.
your pickiness.
yeah.
Like,
Well, and then you
We
actually
know.
have to like,
Yeah.
These days-
Every allergy is like,
if they
no,
were
you
really
just
allergic
really
to that
don't
shit,
like
they
it.
wouldn't go out in public. Like if
Yeah.
onions made you die, you wouldn't eat it at a
Yeah.
restaurant.
I had a
Why would
yeah.
you risk that
Yeah.
for a fucking
You-
And
I-
nobody's allergic to onions. Onions are in fucking everything,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I was at a seafood place and this lady comes in and she's like, I'm like deathly allergic to shellfish, but I can still have fish. Like, what can I have? I'm like, nothing really here. I'm like, I got shrimp
No.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can't have anything. I'm like, I wouldn't even touch the counter. Like, to
Yeah.
be honest. Like,
Yeah.
There's a lady that would come into
You're,
For your own
you're
personal
risking
safety, get the
everything
fuck
right now.
out.
she'd order the lobster tail and set her EpiPen on the table. I'm not even fucking shitting you, because she was like, I'm allergic, but I really like it.
I had
And
a,
I'm like,
I got-
so you'll eat she'll eat it as fast as she possibly can, and then go. Whoop.
I got a buster.
Her birthday treat
Amazing.
was a lobster tail and a fucking EpiPen.
It's like just a small risk of her heart exploding from
Yeah.
an adrenaline shot.
Yeah.
She
What
just
if the pens are
chugging
done?
Benadryl on the side.
I had a buster doing that the other day. Like he's sitting there eating salmon. He's like coughing and choking, and I'm like, "Are you all right?" He's like, "Yeah." And he's like turning red, and his eyes start watering up, and he's like coughing and keeps going eating and stuff. I'm like, I'm looking at one of the guys. I'm like, "Is he okay?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, he's allergic to salmon." I'm like, "Why are you eating the salmon if you're allergic to it?" And he's like, "I really like it." And I'm just like, it makes no
Fair
sense.
enough.
Also, who the fuck's allergic to salmon?
Yeah, I'd never even heard of that one.
Your parents failed you.
How
So-
can you eat healthy then?
So
It's like every diet ever is like salmon and asparagus. If you're allergic to those two things, just
Congratulations,
die or be
you're
fat.
Yeah. Sorry, Tub Tub. Gonna be a short life.
So I'm not gonna lie. When I'm working wedding venues, a lot of times they serve vendors like shitty sandwiches or like some crappy ass burger that's like cooked like a hockey puck or some fucking chips and whatever. So I literally every time fucking lie and I'm just like, yeah, I have a gluten thing, and because they have so many meals back there anyway. So I'm
Totally.
like, fuck you guys. Yeah, I'm just,
Yeah.
Get a piece of salmon.
Cedar plank salmon.
Oh man, that was a thing for a while.
Oh no, it's big right now at weddings. Pork shank. I've had
Yeah.
it at a few of them. Pork shank. It's
Pork,
like hot
pork
right
shank's
now.
fucking good.
It is good.
Goes hard.
It is.
But
good.
that is one of-
Sometimes it's very little.
That's one of those things
It's
that's easy
very
to
small.
cook like a lot of because you just fucking
Yeah,
throw it
they're
in
cheap.
there and just, put some liquid with it and forget about it for a
Yeah,
day.
they're good.
Set it and forget it.
Very much. All right. Well, that is the end of this segment called Four Questions. Should we try to get it again?
The what?
We're going to try to do it?
Sure.
It's the end of 1,
2,
3,
4 questions.
All right.
There we go.
We are the champions, my
Fucking
friend.
nailed it.
And so that brings us, Kyle, to the last part of this podcast, which is what's the craziest shit you've ever seen have happened to you in this industry?
Wait, can we have a cut? Because I'm going to pee my pants.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, go
I
for
just
it.
have to. Sorry,
Cut.
guys.
It's better than the fucking one episode where I literally.
I'm going?
Rolling. My favorite Limp Bizkit song.
It's my top 5 at least.
All right. And we are back here again. Someone had to take a little pee break because
I have a tiny tank.
you said your dick was
Happens to
falling
the best
asleep or
of us.
something.
Gotta wake up
But-
the sleeping giant.
So we were saying, Kyle, what's the craziest thing you've experienced, seen, had happen to you, done, whatever, while working in the service industry?
So I don't have like the one big one, like the one like crazy explosion, like somebody dumped a whole bunch of ice
Just
cubes
has to
in
be
a
weird.
deep fryer or
Yeah.
something like that. I had this one guy who was kind of a regular at a spot that I worked at Naniac. He wanted to like buy the place and he wanted to become an owner, and he thought of himself as like some sort of fancy chef. Like he would bring in like his own pulled pork and his own cheese that he made. And this one time he came into the
To like
kitchen.
a restaurant.
Yeah. He brought in his own food to a restaurant.
Anybody want some of this shit? Don't buy their stuff.
Yeah. So one night he came into the kitchen. He was just like hanging out with me, and this was a really,
Hold on
really.
one
Is that
second.
normal that
Hold on one
people
second.
would walk back
what
there?
the fuck are you looking at?
Yeah, no, nothing.
I didn't see it. I missed it.
I'm sorry. I had
I was just scrolling.
yeah. All I saw was some
was trying to
pregnant
make
belly. There's some pregnant bellies on
Well,
that.
his dick was asleep. He's got to wake it back up.
Yeah.
Wake me
Jeez.
up
Go
inside.
ahead, buddy. Go ahead. Go ahead. Do what you got to do. I'm not the fucking teetotaler.
Save
man.
me.
I'm not the cops.
It's just everywhere. Okay, so let's get back to the story.
So this big dude, he comes out and he's hanging out in the kitchen with me, and he's hanging out like, so in order to get to the bar, you had to go through the kitchen, and in order to get out of the bar, you had to go through the kitchen. So this big fat fuck was just like standing in the middle of this tiny little kitchen with me, telling me all of these wonderful things that he wants to do with this place once he buys it.
Did he like know the owner? Was he like in the process of buying?
No,
this place?
he was one of those guys that like tried to be like really friendly with the staff.
Yeah.
Like he used to try like schmooze me up and schmooze the bartender up and just say, one of these days I'm going to talk to your owner. I'm going to buy this place. And he never did. But like he came in, like he had his own cheese and his own like smoked meats that he was trying to get me to put on customers' food, like on like actual orders of food.
Like while you're making it, right?
Yes,
there.
like I was plating bruschetta, and he like pulled out this like Tupperware thing of pulled pork. He's like, throw some of that on there. I was like,
No.
absolutely fucking not, dude. What the fuck are you thinking? No, I'm not. No, and like all these servers are like coming in through like the kitchen and stuff like that, and like, hey, excuse me, and he's just like looking at him like, excuse you, like he works there or he like actually owns the place, but he fucking doesn't. So he's like going off on me about how cool he is and how much he drinks and how much weed he smokes and stuff. And he's like, hey man, like, and he pulls out his wallet. He's like 100, 200, 300, 400. He's like, how about you get me some weed one of these days? It's like, dude, I don't have like any sort of connect, man. Like I get like a gram at a time.
Did
like,
he just think because you're like in the kitchen? You
yeah,
must be
like
be a
I
drug
work,
dealer or
I
something?
make $12 an hour, dude.
Fair
like,
assumption.
yeah. He's not off. Yeah. But like, so the next day he comes back after giving me like $400 and he's expecting me to like throw a whole bunch of weed at him. I only got him like a gram. And like I kept the rest of his money. Like I thought he was like tipping me or something.
This is some super weed. It's gonna
Yeah.
be really
he's
high.
like, are you fucking serious, man? This is it? This is all you give me? I was like, dude, this is all I could get you, man. This is all my guy had. Which I was just like, I don't make any money. I'm just going to take yours because my boss is a fucking dickhead and I have to shake him down just for my fucking paycheck every other week.
Yeah. And I hate you, so.
Yeah.
This all makes sense to me. Maybe
Yeah.
not to you, but
Yeah.
in my head, this is how this was going to go the whole time.
I promise you, we're all laughing at you.
Right.
And so he never came back. He never came back
after that incident.
No, he like threw a fit to me in the kitchen, and then he like chased me to the bathroom and stuff like that. And he was fucking.
Was he like trying to fight you?
Yeah. And like he had kids, like
there.
Like his kids?
Yeah, his kids and his wife were like out in the seating area, like hanging out, and like he like chased me to the bathroom while I was trying to go take a piss. Like, you didn't give me enough fucking weed. Like, what the fuck is this shit? Blah, blah, blah.
Over under on that guy still being married. I didn't.
Over under on that guy still being alive.
I was going to say alive.
0.
Too. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I never fight drug dealers in front of my.
a couple.
It only ends well sometimes.
A couple years later, I've got a serving job up in Wisconsin, just because I wanted to make some extra money, and it's at a place that is famous for having 86 beers on tap and 150 whiskeys there, and he's there with his family, and I make eye contact with him, and he's just like, and they all get up and walk out.
That guy's just like he's gonna put his dick in our food.
No one
You gotta
either.
get out of here.
What do you mean, Dad? No. When you know something, you
I
know.
walked by his. I was on my
gonna
way
fuck
to
your grilled
another
cheese.
table, but like when I was walking to his, like I gave him the super slow mo, like you know what you're about, son.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Extra ranch.
Yeah. Just garbage people.
It's not very smart to go into your kitchen and try to fight someone. Like that's where the knives are.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
Serious.
It's also where the people with nothing to lose are.
More importantly, yes, that is a more important point.
Yeah.
Like at that, I'm 27
That's
years
really,
old.
like,
I have nothing
they
going.
will just
I'm living in
throw
my parents'
hands.
basement. Like, yeah, fuck it, dude.
Yeah.
I got time. How about you? Fucking loser.
It's funny because it's true. Oh shit, that's pretty good. Well, Kyle, thank you very much for coming on with us.
Happy
Thank you for
to do
sharing
it,
your
man.
stories and your experiences with us. If you have a story that you need to come tell us, hit us up at 4shotspodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
The number 4 SHOTS podcast@gmail.com. I think that's the end of this episode.
Hey.
So time for shot number 4, and let's see if we can get let's go out with a little chant too. So this is the end of the 1,
2,
3,
4 Shots podcast.
Cheers.
It's a smell.
Ugh. Oh.